Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we are going to be doing the opening part to What If Goku and Vegeta were trapped in the time chamber. I know you guys have been waiting for this What If for a while, but during this time I have been working on it and I'm so happy to finally be releasing it. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
This What If starts when the Z Fighters group up at the lookout. Instead of Goku and Gohan going into the time chamber, Goku and Vegeta decide to go into the time chamber together. Since they're basically equal at this point, they can gain a lot of Zenkai boosts from fighting each other. They enter and begin their first year inside the chamber, which is one day outside of the chamber. The first thing that changes is that Cell feels the key signature of the Z Fighters huddling together in a single location in the air. Perfect Cell, as a result, decides to fly over to the area this time to see what's going on. As they discuss who's going in next, Piccolo is horrified to feel Cell's terrorizing key signature approaching them at high speed. "It's Perfect Cell, he's coming here at full speed," Piccolo shouts. The rest of the fighters become silent, and in reaction Vegeta and future Trunks along with Gohan and Piccolo step forward to directly face the incoming warrior. Before Goku and Vegeta went into the time chamber, future Trunks, Piccolo and Gohan all went in together. Gohan unlocked Super Saiyan, Trunks did too, and Piccolo got stronger. Even though only 2 people normally can enter the time chamber, Piccolo is able to tag along since all that he needs to survive is water and not food and other items like Gohan and Trunks do. Gohan is by far the strongest out of these fighters, but since his training partners are so weak compared to Goku, he isn't exactly able to surpass him. He is around a third to a half of his canon strength, and he is capable of Super Saiyan grade 1 and 2 that he steals from future Trunks. Piccolo also ends up stronger than he is after he enters the time chamber alone, since he's able to spar with powerful Saiyans. "Do not take another step closer, if you do I'll blast you to smithereens," Piccolo shouts, holding out his palm in preparation. "What a rude welcoming," Cell says jokingly, stepping forwards. Piccolo shouts and launches an energy wave akin to the energy wave that he launched towards Raditz many years before. The smoke clears and Cell just walks through it before blasting forward to attack the trio. Future Trunks and Gohan in reaction both roar and enter Super Saiyan to clash with Cell. They launch an attack that they had been theorizing before, which is a combination of Gohan's Masenko and a full power energy wave from Trunks. To add to this technique, Piccolo launches his very own Masenko and the 3 beams combine to form a super powered energy wave that zooms right towards Cell. This time he catches it and feels that it's much stronger than the energy wave that Piccolo shot out. Gohan is only around 30% his strength and Trunks is much lower than that, while Piccolo's percent of his strength is rather negligible. Even if all of them were to combine their forces as they are doing now, it does nothing to him. He then ferociously slaps away the energy wave, leaving the fighters dumbfounded. Using his amazing speed, he zooms ahead and slams into Piccolo, making him cough up blood. This hurls him across the lookout and causes him to fall right off it, but Krillin dives off to try and catch him. "You're dead," Gohan shouts, attempting to punch Cell. The punch lands, but Cell doesn't even move after he is hit. In reaction, he knees Gohan in his stomach, then raises him up so that his eyes are in line with his. "Did you think you can actually injure the perfect life form?" Cell shouts, squeezing on Gohan's frail neck. Trunks, while he is distracted, steps back and launches his burning attack at an angle so that Gohan gets the least amount of damage. However, Cell tanks this attack and is left with a minor bruise that vanishes in seconds. He punches Gohan in his gut so hard that he falls out of Super Saiyan, and the force from this prolonged squeeze causes him to then lose consciousness. "What can I do?" Trunks wonders, seeing 2 of his comrades down and dying. "I said that we will fight at my Cell games, this is unnecessary," Cell shouts to the other fighters, but Trunks is too welled up with rage. He charges forward and even enters grade 2, which gives him a much more muscular physique. He tries to use his burning attack from much closer to try and deal more damage. The red ball of energy is swift, but Cell just swipes it away and it then slams into the hyperbolic time chamber entrance building. It totally crumbles and the explosion leaves everyone utterly horrified. Cell doesn't know the cause of their expressions, but then just flies off the lookout as he has no interest in fighting them. He is waiting for Goku and Vegeta to arrive from wherever they have gone to. Trunks can do nothing but just fall to the ground in shock. "They're locked in," Krillin says, with widened eyes. From inside the chamber, Goku and Vegeta are exchanging some punches in Super Saiyan. Goku flips back tens of meters away from his aggressor. From beside them, the door to the hyperbolic time chamber just blows up basically. Not a visible explosion, but it just crumbles. "The door," Vegeta shouts, flying right to the scene with Goku. They get to the area where the door is supposed to be, but once they see this, it also horrifies them. "We're stuck in here." After this, the only people who can attend the Cell games are the Z Fighters. Goku and Vegeta have been locked away, and so that they can have the greatest shot of winning, Gohan is first up to face the life form. Gohan and Cell face each other, just like in the canon timeline, but this time Gohan is much weaker. He still does have great potential, and even without someone specifically trying to harness such power, he has made great leaps and bounds in his strength. You send this child to face me. Where are Goku and Vegeta? Cell asks the group, annoyed. You sealed them away when you attacked us. He's the best we've got, Krillin says in annoyance. This child, well, so be it, Cell says, flying ahead to clash with Gohan. Gohan slides back from this slam and Cell doesn't even move from his original position at all, and this scares the other Z fighters quite a bit. However, Gohan knows that he is the last hope of the planet and decides to up the stakes to his full power. He roars and grows in muscle until he enters his Super Saiyan Grade 2 form. You're rather bulky, let's see if you've gotten any stronger, Cell says, flying back to him. Gohan blocks his first punch and throws two of his own to his stomach before spinning to try and land a kick to his head. To his surprise, Cell veers past this kick and lands a single bone-snapping punch that leaves Gohan stunned once again. Cell doesn't even stop and continues to lay out on Gohan, using all the tricks in the book, hooks, kicks, uppercuts, anything. Gohan, now beaten up and with some broken teeth, stumbles to a knee before he is forced to take an uppercut to the chin. This punch slams him into his back and the Z fighters can barely stand to watch. He returns to his base and just coughs out blood onto the arena. I'm not having any fun with this kid, Cell shouts in fury. Maybe just give us some time. Goku and Vegeta can find their way out in a few days. I know they can, Piccolo says, in an attempt to save the planet. You're lucky that I actually want to face someone of substance. Fine, if those Saiyans do not show up in 30 days, I'll blow this planet and the solar system to smithereens. Do not bother me or I will strike you all down, Cell says, pushing Gohan out of the ring. Then, the fighters heal Gohan with a senzu bean and leave the area, thinking of what to do. What are we supposed to do? They're literally trapped in there. He will destroy the planet in 30 days, Tien says. Good thinking though, Piccolo, giving us time like that, Krillin replies, as they fly away. So the group decide to train as hard as they possibly can in these 30 days. It's all they can do to hope that their chances of winning against Cell are as maximized as possible. With Goku and Vegeta in the chamber, all they can do now is get as strong as possible. Vegeta theorizes that just maybe if they get strong enough, they could escape from the chamber and return to save Earth somehow. Goku somewhat agrees with this, and so they go through some arduous, grueling training to grow as strong as they can, as fast as they can. 14 years into their time in the chamber, both Saiyans have gained access to Super Saiyan 3. Their beards are long and bushy, while they have also mastered Super Saiyan and even Super Saiyan 2. Therefore, Super Saiyan 2 for them feels like Super Saiyan Grade 4. They are well on their way to mastering Super Saiyan 3, but they haven't completed that just yet. They have gotten way stronger in this time. If Goku went from below android level to a good portion of Cell strength in a year, these two are bound to receive massive boosts to their strength. Their base forms are now strong enough to take out their very own counterparts that entered the chamber 14 years prior. On the outside, Gohan has gained access to Grade 3, but both fighters, Trunks and Gohan, realise that the form will be useless against Cell since it makes them so slow. With constant spars, they grow quite a bit stronger, but it isn't enough to even think of facing Cell just yet. Goku and Vegeta both meditate in Super Saiyan 3 while in the chamber. Their beards, although slightly trimmed, still reach down to their lower chests. Vegeta has gained the same theory that he gained in Superhero, where he thought of meditating and calming his body to fight in an efficient way. Therefore, he has convinced Goku to do the same, even though he is far less fond of it. While meditating, Vegeta abruptly stops and falls once he thinks of something. This disrupts Goku's meditation, and so he opens his eye to see what's going on. What is it, Vegeta? Goku asks. I think I know how to get out of this place, Vegeta says, in excitement. Goku immediately stops meditating and returns to his feet. How? Goku asks. We must make a portal ourselves. I don't know how, but if we make a portal to Earth, we should be able to try and save everyone, Vegeta explains. That sounds like a good idea. How would we get the portal going though? Goku asks. Vegeta then starts lifting the suppression on his body slowly, creating cracks in the ground around him. The floor rumbles and the loose rocks around him float from him, releasing his true strength. He then starts to shout and engulfs in a massive golden aura that is quite blinding. Releasing his full power, he has unbelievable amounts of power never seen in the anime prior to this point. Ahead of him, a portal manifests that is much more stable than the one Gotenks created, and it's the size of an adult human in width and height. Vegeta then returns to his base form and the area settles, and Goku does the same. I think we can get home, Goku says once they see the Cell Games arena displayed in the portal. Now Gohan faces Cell and is significantly stronger than he was before. I'd say that he's now 60 to 70% as strong as he was in canon, which is still too little power for him to face Cell. Well, if he was to use Super Saiyan 2, he would then become stronger than Cell. However, as of right now, he's only capable of Grade 3. They both stand off and Gohan doesn't pull his gaze off him to try and make himself seem more powerful. Everyone stops in place and looks in the direction of the terrifyingly large key signature that they can all sense in the sky. Goku and Vegeta then descend from the portal to reveal themselves in their base forms. Even though they are suppressed, everyone looks at them in fear, including Cell himself. Gohan smiles once he sees them, then hops off the arena once Gohan lands in front of Cell. So the planet's still kicking. I wouldn't think that you'd let Earth stick around for so long, Goku says with his large beard. Cell doesn't even reply and just shakes in place as he feels the incredible power coming off him. In a flash, Goku punches him in his chest and punches right through his chest and heart, making him cough out a bunch of blood. Before he can even try and push himself free, he is palms down into a mountain more than 400 meters away in just a second or two. Goku's doing all this in his base form, how is this possible? Krillin thinks in awe. Cell then heals and returns to his ordinary form and flies right back to Goku angrily. So if I hurt you, you just regenerate, I guess I'll just have to vaporize you, Goku says, stepping back to then release a one-hand energy wave. This energy wave is massive and makes the entire area very bright. All of the Z Fighters have to shut their eyes to not get blinded. Cell is vaporized in the blast and the threat of Cell is totally removed. This time Android 17 and 18 are revived by Krillin. Their bombs are then removed after they realize that they can really get killed whenever. This is because Goku and Vegeta are so much stronger than them. They are reluctant to let Krillin do this, but they do acknowledge that they were wrongly absorbed and killed by Cell. Android 17 just leaves and Krillin gets in a relationship with Android 18 after all of this happens, so no destruction is caused. The people killed by Cell are still revived by Yamcha and the Cell saga comes to an end after this. Next, there is a long 7-year time skip. Goku and Vegeta are still in the mine to train hard, but they train much lighter than they did in the time chamber. They train around as hard as they did in the canon timeline, since they still strive to grow as strong as possible. Due to their bodies getting very resistant and durable in the time chamber, Goku is now able to combine the Kaioken times 10 with Super Saiyan to form a transformation that is even stronger than Super Saiyan 3. However, he can't even hold it for very long since Super Saiyan and Kaioken is very taxing when used together. Gohan did train before his own battle with Cell, but he just isn't that strong since he doesn't train in the 7-year time skip. However, once Goten and Trunks see their fathers being so strong, they continue training to try and get to their strength someday. They find a lot more passion in fighting each other, while Trunks arrogantly shows off his superiority most times they fight. He is older and therefore is slightly stronger than Goten is, and this is just like in the canon. With their increased passion, I'd say they're significantly stronger than their canon counterparts, around 50% stronger. Now for the Buu saga, Shin and Kibita are well aware of Goku and Vegeta's power. It's rare when they release their true full power, but when they do, they know. They do understand that Goku and Vegeta are leagues above them. The first event of the Buu saga where things really start to change is when Gohan is taken down by Spopovich and Yamu. Goku and Vegeta both fly and almost catch up to the two fighters before Shin advises them to stay back. Vegeta surmises that they're just slowly flying behind them to try and find where they're going, and Shin then explains such. I know you two, the two strongest Saiyans. We call you the legendary Super Saiyans back in Otherworld, Shin says jokingly. Now, the only real contender for Goku is Vegeta, and this is likewise for Vegeta, where only Goku matches his strength. They are practically equals, and everyone on Earth they can handle in just their base forms. They land ahead of the hideout with the other sea fighters like Piccolo, Krillin and Gohan. Ahead of them is the spaceship, then Dabura blasts towards Kibito to try and kill him. However, Vegeta almost teleports in front of him from his speed. With a single palm strike to his chest, he launches the Demon King into the ground. Upon contact, the crater is formed and the collision sounds just like a violent explosion. From this smoke, Dabura shoots out his spit that slams into both Krillin and Piccolo. Nobody really understands what's going on here, and as they look at the two hit warriors, Dabura escapes to the ship with a grave injury. He turned them to stone, Goku says in shock, flying to the scene of the attack. We have to defeat him to turn them back, Shin explains, flying past Krillin's stone body. Piece of cake, Vegeta says monotonously, entering the spaceship. His voice sounds nowhere near as arrogant as before, since he has had quite a change of mind when he was in the time chamber. After 30 years of sparring and meditating, his mentality has really become much tougher. Once they enter, they all realise that they have to pass through all the levels to get Dabura and to return Piccolo and Krillin to their original states. Vegeta fights Pui Pui, and once he gets into the 10 times gravity, he literally feels nothing, like nothing at all. You're dead in my 10 times gravity. I bet you feel super heavy. Well, this is just normal to me. No, Pui Pui just takes this blunt reply as a bluff and dives forward to try and attack him. He swings forward and out of nowhere, Vegeta just disappears in his vision. However, he has just stepped around to face his back. You're gone. Vegeta then blasts him to bits and pieces, leaving Goku for Yakon next. Just in Super Saiyan, Goku makes Yakon absorb way too much light energy and this kills the being. This leaves Dabura. Gohan wants to have a go, but Goku and Vegeta are quite reluctant. Gohan, you haven't trained once in 7 years. I could beat you in my current suppressed state. I know you want to try and fight yourself, but you will only slow us down. We can get this done much quicker ourselves, Vegeta explains politely, surprising Gohan. He really did change in that chamber, Gohan thinks. Goku and Vegeta play rock paper scissors, and the winner of this rock paper scissors is Goku. You just got to fight. Oh well, Vegeta says, as Goku is teleported to face Dabura. Once he sees him, he has a heavy pan and is holding his chest from the palm slam that he received from Vegeta. You're still hurt from that. You won't be much fun then, Goku says, as his hair starts to flow. He starts lifting his suppression and starts to shout, lifting the rocks around him. The gizzard rock that he's on top of shatters under his feet and he looks like a god from the amount of energy that disperses from around him. Then he enters his Super Saiyan form, which gives him a 50 times multiplier. This energy, it's like nothing I've ever seen before, Dabura thinks once he sees Goku floating over him. Goku, without saying a word, zooms toward him and lands a punch to his gut, which launches him into a rock hill in a split second. To finish the battle off quickly, Goku shoots out a ki blast that dives down into the newly created rubble, connecting with Dabura. An immense shockwave is released as well as a massive explosion. Dabura is literally vaporized in the heat of the blast, returning Krillin and Piccolo to normal. However, once Goku uses his Super Saiyan form, this releases enough energy for Babidi to use to activate Buu. While in the spaceship, Vegeta gets attacked by Babidi mentally, but he is so strong now that he can barely feel it. It's so easy for him to resist the control, and it confuses him since it was such a random sensation. He just doesn't say anything about it since the force is so weak. Once he returns, the Z Fighters and Buu are transported to another area like usual, and Shin is horrified to see the pink steam emit from that hard brown ball. Vegeta doesn't take the chance and launches an energy wave right towards the ball, destroying it. Quick thinking, Vegeta, Goku says in praise. You really got him, I'm so happy to have you guys. However, once they turn back to the ball, a pink cloud of gas condenses and forms the Majin Buu being. So this is Buu. What sort of being is this? Vegeta asks Shin. Don't be fooled by his appearance. He took on several kinds at one time and is evil incarnate. Please destroy it as soon as possible, Shin insists, stepping back once he sees Buu. Fine, Vegeta says, zooming right up to Buu. He throws a full power punch to try and just eliminate it in one go, but Buu just opens his stomach to let his fist fly right through him. However, before he's able to pull out his fist, the pink mass latches onto his arm and stops him escaping. No way, Shin says, sweating in fear. What's going on? I don't understand, Goku says, once he sees this happen. However, Vegeta gets consumed by the pink mass and a new super being is formed, Vegetaheim, Buu Vegeta absorbed. This feels amazing. Who would have thought you guys had this much power, Buu says, in his new physique. He looks much taller and sleeker, and the power that he's emitting is incredibly scary. He absorbed him. This will be a problem, Goku says, looking at the new form of Buu. In this state, Buu is even stronger than Vegeta was in Super Saiyan 3, and so the only person that could possibly take him down is Goku. So you're the second strongest person I'll ever fight after my time in the chamber, Goku says, as he ascends to face Buu. Yes, I can see every day you two spent in that chamber from the prince's memories. Now I'll use the power that you guys attained to crush you all, Buu shouts maniacally, clenching his right fist. There's no need for me to try and mess around here. This could be life or death. Let's up this to full power, Goku says, lifting all his suppressions. He enters Super Saiyan 3, then zooms forward right towards Buu. Just before he throws a punch, he teleports with his instant transmission and appears behind him. He then takes this chance to charge up a full power Kamehameha wave. I've only seen this blast once, we have to run, Gohan shouts, feeling the rumbling in the ground. The blast is launched, but Buu doesn't even move at all. He is revealed with only minor bruises that just fade. I didn't think he'd be able to handle my strongest attack. Even Vegeta can't just stand through it. He's even stronger than Vegeta, Goku thinks, in shock. Now it's my turn, Buu says, before zooming towards him. A single punch launches him through a whole mountain. Buu then shoots his whole body down like an arrow, and the punch he delivers at the end of this is scary strong. It creates a shockwave so large that rocks go flying away from the point of impact. Before he can snap his mind back into the fight, he is forced to take a full power strike to his chest. He wheezes and grasps his chest after this, now covered in his own blood from just this quick combination alone. He knows that he won't be able to beat him at this level and thus decides to up his power even more. I'm not even sure if my body can handle this. Well, if I don't try this, he'll kill everyone, Goku says, reverting back to his Super Saiyan Grade 4 form. What is this Saiyan up to, Buu wonders as he watches while in flight. Soon a Kaioken aura envelops his body and he immediately feels the strain. Even with just basic Kaioken and Super Saiyan, it feels pretty tough. However, he knows that he can go much further. Kaioken times 15, he screams, erupting in a red destructive aura. With a multiplier of 750 times with this form, he is almost twice as strong as he was before in Super Saiyan 3. What is this, that form, Buu thinks, looking back to Vegeta's memories. He never did something of this level. Goku then blasts off and the first punch collides, which actually forces him back several meters. Goku continues with several punches and kicks that Buu has to use significant effort to contain. This isn't enough, Goku thinks as he attacks. He is dealing significantly more damage than before, but the thing that hasn't changed is that Buu isn't amassing any injuries. Kaioken times 20, Goku shouts, immediately feeling the heavy strain on his body. He feels pain even down to his bones, but he knows that he must use this sort of power to face the guy that he's up against. Goku lands the first punch and actually injures Buu, and once he sees this, he pounces. He kicks Buu into the air, then flies right up toward him. Since he's obviously just flying toward him, Buu takes this time to block the next attack, but at the last second, Goku uses instant transmission to appear behind Buu. Now behind him, he slams him down into the ground, forming a shockwave in the process. As he lands, a massive crater is created once he crashes into the ground, and Goku uses this time to charge his ki to the absolute maximum. The amount of ki pouring out of him now is immense, and all of the Z Fighters can sense it. I never knew he was this strong, Shin says, watching from afar. He's using his strongest attack. I've never seen him this strong before, Gohan says in astonishment. Goku then shoots himself down in his last ditch effort to try and kill Buu. The collision is very powerful and from the looks of things, Buu is defeated. However, Goku returns to his base form with a crushed body to see Buu standing ahead of him in a pant. He would have thought he'd be so strong. Anyway, you failed, Buu says, kicking Goku into the sky. Goku smartly suppresses his ki and uses instant transmission to teleport to where he feels Shin, Kibito and the Z-Fighters watching the battle. Well, Shin and Kibito are gods, but he definitely centers Gohan. His weak body falls into Gohan's arms and he coughs out blood once he lands. Kibito swiftly attends to his wounds and heals him, giving him a large Zenkai that almost doubles his strength. This power, I feel so much stronger now. I won't be able to defeat him, he's too strong now, Goku says, looking at Buu in the distance. I guess there's only one option then, Shin says. What? Goku asks in confusion. You'll have to fuse with your son Gohan here. It shall be permanent, but it's the only way to take out this being. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but the world and galaxy is at stake here, Shin explains. Gohan hesitates for a second, then takes one of the Potara. Gohan isn't that strong compared to you, but even with him, you'll grow much stronger with the Potara, Shin says. Goku then takes his and they are told how to actually fuse. They do, and a bright light is given off as their bodies combine into one. Everyone gets blasted away, then the new fusion rises to meet levels with Buu, although he is quite far away. However, he just teleports and appears in front of Buu in his new form. Who are you? You look like Goku, but you look like Gohan too. You're not Goku, Buu says, clearly confused. I am not Goku nor Gohan. I am a new being that has been created from their fusion. I am Gohan, he says, facing him. Buu just takes this chance to punch him and he actually does do damage. Gohan is still way stronger than Goku, but his base isn't quite enough to take out Buu. At the end of the day, he is more than 1,000 times stronger than Goku's base. I see I won't be able to wipe the floor with you in this state. Let's take things up a notch, shall we? Gohan shouts, powering up into his Super Saiyan form. The strength of Gohan now is immense. Everyone can feel it and they believe that he can win this fight now. Buu tries to kick him in his gut, but Gohan uses Goku's instant transmission to appear behind him and to blast him at full power. Even this blast doesn't eliminate Buu, but he is still severely injured. His body reforms to normal and Gohan just watches him with crossed arms. Buu screams and powers up before flying at Goku in desperation. He can't handle the fact that Gohan almost destroyed him, and so he throws a bunch of wild swings, but none of them connect. As he does this, Gohan starts using Super Saiyan 2, then punches him in his chest, stopping him in his tracks. You've only absorbed Vegeta and he can be wished back. I hope you can come back as someone that I could spar in the future, Gohan says, holding up his palm to his face. Buu, still struggling to catch his breath, watches Gohan then power up into his special Super Saiyan 3 form. His terrifying glare makes Buu quiver in place. Masenko Kamehameha, Gohan shouts, teleporting so that he appears below Buu. He knows that if he aims such a strong attack downwards, he'll destroy the whole planet, and so he aims it up to the sky. Buu gets engulfed in the blast and he is destroyed down to the cellular level. With the threat of Buu gone, they wish for Vegeta back using the Dragon Balls. He didn't kill anyone since he didn't become Majin, and Buu doesn't get to kill anyone, and so the threat of Buu has been totally removed. Now the Buu saga ends and 6 months pass before Beerus wakes up and makes his journey to Earth. Goku and Vegeta grow even stronger, but obviously there isn't much growth that they can have in just 6 months. Goku can now use Kaioken times 15 without destroying his body, and he can use Kaioken times 20 for about 30 seconds before he starts receiving heavy strain on his body. Of course, this is when he uses Kaioken and Super Saiyan together. After more than 35 years of training and meditating, Goku and Vegeta have much calmer minds, and Vegeta's ego has dwindled and he is far less arrogant than before. During these 6 months, they venture off planet in search of more power. They are far more inclined to do so because they've become so strong to the point where they are very interested in finding other sources of power. They use instant transmission to end up learning Metamorian fusion from the Metamorians, and they also go to Yardrat to try and learn some things. However, they only head there for around 4 months, but they are still able to learn Full Spirit Fission, Gigantification, and Vegeta learns Instant Transmission. While they're still training on Yardrat, a presence meets them there with unidentifiable power. So these are my Super Saiyan gods. Finally, someone worthy of battling me, Beerus says, more than excited. The Yardratians are scared out of their minds and Goku is confused. However, Vegeta knows just who he is. He has gotten much stronger, but he is smart enough to realise that Beerus is still levels above them. However, he has a plan to try and form a being that could rival him in strength. Let us return to Earth so that you can get your Super Saiyan God, Vegeta says. Then they all teleport to the planet and arrive on Bulma's ship for her birthday. So you both weren't late, that's great, Bulma says, but once she turns to face them, she sees 2 godlike beings and Beerus scares her the most. Do not fret, Bulma, he is of no threat to us now, Vegeta says, making Beerus laugh. If I don't find this Super Saiyan God of mine, I will blow this planet up, he says in a chuckle, which makes the people at the party quite scared. However, they know not to fight since Goku and Vegeta aren't fighting, and if they aren't, there's no way they could win. Or maybe there's just a better alternative to battling it out. So they gather Shenron and gain information on the Super Saiyan God, and the ritual begins. However, they're planning something very different. Goku enters his Super Saiyan God form but then reverts to his base form. After he does this, it confuses Beerus, but then he performs the fusion dance with Vegeta to form the super being Gogeta. His aura alone blasts away the people around him, and before Beerus can even ask him what has happened, Gogeta enters Super Saiyan God. So you two Saiyans are fused and simultaneously utilize God Ki. You two are smart, Beerus says. I'm not Goku nor Vegeta, I'm Gogeta and I'm here to battle and defeat you, Gogeta says nonchalantly, raising up to face the god. Just for your information, the bases of Goku and Vegeta in this what if could destroy Super Saiyan 3 Goku from canon at the same point in time. Now they are fused and have Super Saiyan God on top of that, and so they have certainly reached godly levels of strength. However, this means that they only have minutes to use before their fusion ends. Gogeta soars forward and lands an elbow to Beerus' chest, launching him back quite a significant distance. He then catches up to him and increases his speed to insane amounts before attempting to throw a punch. Beerus veers past the attack somehow, and this even makes Gogeta surprised. Ultimately, he is forced to take a knee to the god that launches him through a cloud above them. Gogeta stays resilient and continues his assault by flying down to try and attack him once again. He throws 2 haymakers at Beerus, but both strikes are contained and blocked. Once he feels them though, he gets very excited because Gogeta is way above his expectations of how strong he expected the Super Saiyan God to be. Beerus throws a punch, but Gogeta uses instant transmission to land the hardest attack that he has thrown throughout their short battle. This single kick launches him airborne and Gogeta stays right on it, darting toward him with the intention of landing even more strikes. He kicks his back again, then uses instant transmission to appear below him and launch the God Final Kamehameha. The force from this energy wave forms a shockwave so large that the rocks around him shatter and crumble into small pebbles. The light emitted from this energy wave is also extremely bright, and to Gogeta the threat has been neutralized. This energy wave is basically the strongest mortal energy wave ever launched in this universe, and Beerus is revealed to be minimally affected. You really are one of the strongest beings I've ever fought, Saiyan, Beerus says, with dirt marks across his body. All these marks on across his skin but are from his clothing being affected by the energy wave. This will be the first time in a while that a mortal has seen this much strength from me, Beerus says, before screaming and erupting in his fury state aura. A single punch from Beerus makes Gogeta cough up blood and it launches him further upwards. His body travels at such a velocity that he severs a cloud, creating a large circular opening in it. Beerus flies right through this opening and lands another kick that launches Gogeta into the upper areas of the atmosphere, but Beerus is already there to stop him and punch him into a stationary position. Gogeta is far stronger, like he is very strong right now. God Goku that completed the ritual in this what if is already far above even versions of Goku like Blue Kaioken Goku from the Universe 6 saga and possibly even Goku in the Goku Black arc. So with the fusion with Vegeta, he is very strong. However, Beerus is still levels above him and strives to push him to try and reach unseen levels of strength from a mortal. Gogeta looks back to the planet that he believes might be destroyed if he doesn't defeat Beerus. Beerus stands over him in his raging purple aura and has the moon directly behind him to make him look even more regal. Your planet now must perish, Beerus declares, throwing down a purple ki blast with insurmountable power. Gogeta is forced to watch this incoming blast of ki and he catches it head on, but there is little he can do to prevent it from crashing into his beloved planet. However, he uses all of the power that he has left within him to hold the blast at bay, roaring with fury to fuel his push. His hands start to bruise but he can't stop and he must continue pushing as hard as he can. Once he continues to push, Beerus just destroys the ki blast since he has got the fight that he has wanted all along. Gogeta, now in his base form, looks incredibly weak and just smiles as he believes he has saved the planet. Just as he's about to start falling to the ground, he defuses to form Goku and Vegeta. Beerus is very pleased with their level of strength and is looking forward to facing them again in the near future. Like in canon, Goku and Vegeta eventually end up training under Whis, and their mentality makes Whis deem them as very suitable for Ultra Instinct. They both find it rather easy to calm their minds, and Goku finds it easier than Vegeta even though he was less fond of meditation. Goku swiftly is able to combine Kaioken with Super Saiyan Blue, and Vegeta gets access to Super Saiyan Blue evolved pretty quickly. Goku can add Kaioken times 20, which is equal to Super Saiyan Blue evolution basically, and he is aiming to go even further than that to try and achieve an even stronger state. Their main goals now are to go for Ultra Instinct, since that is when they'll get far stronger. Frieza is resurrected and has invaded Earth with the intention to face Goku and Vegeta. He lands on the planet with his army and the group are still there to face all of the troops. Since little has changed with the Earthlings, the whole event on Earth goes pretty much the same. Things start to change once Goku arrives on Earth to face Frieza. He lands ahead of Frieza, who enters his final form, and they stare each other down. They fly up until they are above the clouds, then their fight begins. They clash and Frieza gets literally launched. Goku's base form is so much stronger at this time, and his calm, unarrogant attitude makes Frieza very annoyed. Even after all of his training, the gap between them is really large when he's in this state. Frieza throws a straight right while airborne and Goku blocks the attack. Frieza tries to swing for a hook, but Goku dips right under it by dropping his entire body, then he uses a close-up ki blast to launch Frieza away. Once Frieza tries to come back toward him, he uses a side kick to launch him through a cloud. He goes flying back and Goku flies right after him and drives both his knees forward to slam them into his open chest. This launches him straight down like an arrow and he crashes into a rock hill with moderate injury. Goku appears in front of him with instant transmission, but Frieza leaps up to the top of the hill. Goku tracks him in his movements and is quite confused about his motives. "You will be one of the first to witness my new golden state," Frieza exclaims, beginning his power-up. He erupts in a golden aura and enters his golden form. Goku is very surprised once he sees this since he has gotten significantly stronger. "You've gotten much stronger, I won't be able to face you in this form," Goku states, entering his Super Saiyan form. Then he enters his next form, Super Saiyan Kaioken times 50. His multiplier to his strength is now 2500, which is more than 6 times the multiplier of Super Saiyan 3. Goku zooms up and the two fall into a power struggle, destroying the rock beneath them. Goku lets loose and throws 4 punches to his body, but Frieza tanks every hit. Frieza lands a knee to his stomach, then uses his tail to launch him into the waters beside them. Frieza dives right in after him and cocks back his fist, aiming to land a full power strike straight to his torso. He lands the hit, and even in this form, he is no match for the power of Golden Frieza. "I guess I won't even be a match for you in this form. I guess I'll have to take it up a notch," Goku says, entering his Super Saiyan God form. Just in his Super Saiyan God form, he is leagues above that of Frieza. Frieza engages in battle in his new golden state and throws a right that Goku easily parries. He then lands a punch to his gut that stops him right in his tracks, making him also cough up a mixture of spit and blood. Goku knees him in that same place, and just as Frieza tries to elbow him in the chin, he appears behind him. Then, once he is behind him, he envelops the Tyrant in his own red ki. "I can't move," Frieza thinks, as he struggles to release himself from within this irresistible force. Goku uses instant transmission and appears in front of Frieza with his hands aimed at his face. "If you have a change of heart, we can bring you back. For now, you're ours. Vegeta," Goku says, which causes Vegeta to arrive at the scene. Vegeta enters his Super Saiyan Blue form, then launches his final flash right at him, vaporizing the Emperor. This brings the events of Resurrection F to an end, even before Frieza has the chance to destroy the planet. Sorbet sees that his chances of survival are minimal and decides to flee before he can be eliminated. This brings the events of Resurrection F to a close, and the next saga comes along. This event is the event with the Universe 6 versus Universe 7. Beerus is almost certain that they can win with Goku and Vegeta alone, but Champa doesn't believe him. However, once the tournament begins, he is very surprised with what goes down. Goku starts the tournament and is able to take down Botamo in just a few seconds. Even without throwing actual attacks, he can still throw Botamo out with ease. The next fight is Goku versus Frost. "Enter your final form," Goku says, not even moving from his original position. "You're demanding. Fine, it won't end well for you though," Frost says, entering his true final form. Goku nods once he sees the similarities between this form of Frost's and Frieza's final form, and then he uses a special Kaioken level. "Kaioken times 100, he shouts, entering Kaioken. His aura is very intense to say the least, and the strain on his body is rather significant. However, there is only an increase to his physical prowess, and he lands a single punch that launches Frost off the arena. The next battle is with Goku when he faces Vegeta. He makes quick work of him, and even with his enhanced durability, he is no match for Goku. For the next match, Goku is slightly more interested since he is a Saiyan. "So you're a Saiyan, can you turn into a Super Saiyan?" Goku asks, which makes Cabba confused. "No, sorry, I have no transformed state," Cabba says. "Oh well, let's see how good you are," Goku says, entering Super Saiyan himself. Goku, now in Super Saiyan, flies at Cabba and lands a single punch. He has heavily suppressed his power, but Cabba still coughs up spit and is winded from this punch. He's very weak compared to us Saiyans, but that's a given. He's not in his mid-60s like me, Goku thinks humorously. Cabba continues to throw punches and he even tries to deal damage, but it's basically impossible for him. Goku blocks every punch and even evades some, but as Cabba tries to throw a ranged punch, he is hit with an uppercut to the gut to make him fall onto his knees. "Do you want to lose, Cabba? What do you think Champa will think if another member of his universe is eliminated? Draw from the inner power within you, unleash your true strength," Goku shouts, making Cabba roar in rage. Due to his sheer need for power, he enters his Super Saiyan form like Gohan in the Cell Saga, then jumps to punch Goku in the face. He shouts and howls forward a multitude of golden ki blasts that all explode on impact with Goku. "There we go, much better," Goku says, as he allows himself to slide closer to the edge of the ring. Once Cabba sees that Goku is close to falling off the ring, he uses all of his speed to run run forward in a straight direction. This gives him immense speed and he lands a single punch to Goku's gut that makes Goku just jump off the ring to let Cabba win. "You did well, kid," Goku says internally, returning to his base form. Next, Vegeta is up against Cabba, and since he's already been given power, he doesn't want to waste any time. "You've attained the Super Saiyan form. I must say that is surprising. I'm sorry, but we must win this tournament," Vegeta says politely, nodding in respect to begin the battle. He transforms into his Super Saiyan state, then charges forward, speed blitzing the Universe 6 Saiyan. The first thing that he senses are tough knuckles slamming onto and breaking his sternum. Blood is spit out of his mouth once the attack lands, and he is launched off the ring, flying off it in a straight direction. The final fighter is hit, and Vegeta can tell that he is stronger just from the key signature that comes off it. "You're definitely the strongest fighter that they have. Well, let's see how strong you really are," Vegeta says, transforming into his Super Saiyan 3 state. He destroys the arena below him with the endless amounts of ki that floods out of his body. However, his aura vanishes and he almost enters the grade 4 form of Super Saiyan 3. No ki leaks out and he looks as calm as ever. "You have contained such a seemingly unstable form, I must commend you for that," Hit says, making his own stance. Vegeta nods then collides with him, releasing a large shockwave. The arena under them cracks and Hit is taken aback by his supposed strength. Vegeta throws forward a knee then lands a quick right hook to his chin. These two attacks knock back Hit and leave a small bruise on his cheek, but he still seems ready and able to battle. Vegeta doesn't stop though and continues ahead by leaping at Hit. He keeps his right hand behind his back, and once he comes into a much closer range, he hurls forward this hidden hand to slam a ki blast into his stomach. It explodes and Vegeta chucks in 2 more before diving right into the created smoke to land a punch to his chest. This punch slides him right out of this cloud. Vegeta uses instant transmission to appear beside him and he throws a quick hook to try and chip at his chin. However, before his fist collides with his face, he vanishes from sight. Hit then appears beside him, then throws both of his fists forward to land a unique attack that still launches Vegeta back a significant distance. "This wouldn't be as easy as I expected," Vegeta says, holding his chest in a pant. He returns to his base form and before Hit can attack him again, he enters Super Saiyan God and catches his incoming punch. "You didn't think it would be that easy, did you?" Vegeta asks, hurling this fist to the side. With his arm down, his face is totally open and Vegeta capitalizes on this, throwing 2 powerful punches to his face. The punch causes blood to come out of Hit's mouth and he uses a special technique. He enlarges himself until he's around 10 feet tall. Of course, this is the special gigantification technique that he learned on Yardrat. He swoop kicks Hit right out of the ring before bringing himself down to his ordinary size. "The winner of this tournament is Universe 7, the announcer exclaims, much to Universe 6's dismay. The next arc is the arc with Goku Black, and since Goku is OP in this what if, the continuity changes just slightly. Goku Black, since Goku is much stronger, is also way stronger as a result. This Goku Black still moves to the future timeline and teams up with that timeline Zamasu to try and fulfill their Zero Mortals project. Also, I'll say that Goku Black doesn't kill Future Trunks or Mai since he finds it so thrilling to keep destroying him when he thinks he's gotten stronger. Also, from receiving much worse injuries, Future Trunks is stronger and stronger by a significant amount. He is capable of Super Saiyan 2 and he has used Super Saiyan 3 in the past, but this is usually in the heat of battle. He can't just use it randomly or whenever he wants to. So, like in canon, Future Trunks arrives on Earth and Goku teleports there with Vegeta. Vegeta then teleports to Korin's tower to get some Senzu beans, but then Trunks goes on to attack Goku. Goku catches the hit just like in canon and is quite confused. What is it, he wonders, pulling the fist down with ease. Future Trunks then goes on to explain what's going on in his timeline and Goku ends up wanting to spar him. Future Trunks screams at the start of their spar and charges his ki, entering his Super Saiyan 2 form. "Why, you're not going to transform?" Trunks inquires in confusion. "I don't think I'll need to. After those 30 years in the time chamber, I've gotten pretty strong," Goku says, making his stance. "Oh yeah, I remember that," Trunks replies before jumping off the ground to dart toward him. They clash and initially they seem like equals, although this is just because Goku isn't really trying and is suppressing his strength. Trunks continues to struggle and Goku is like an insuperable force to him. Every shove that he does ends up with no movement and it only moves him back instead. Goku, while they're close to each other, lands a quick swinging uppercut to his chest that almost blacks him out instantly. "You're even stronger than Goku Black," Future Trunks says, now in a heavy pant. He holds his chest as he falls back and constantly coughs from the sharp pain. Goku flies at him with immense speed, which makes him a total blur to Trunks. Before he lands a hit, he appears behind him with the use of instant transmission and lands a quick jab-like punch to launch him into a tree. He then reverts to his ordinary state and the fight is called off before any more damage can be caused. "How are you so strong? Aren't you supposed to be old anyway? You're like 60 something, Trunks replies, raising up in pain. "Saiyans stay with a near peak body for years and years. Once I'm old, I might just wish for Shenron to decrease my physical age," Goku says, lifting him up. After this, Goku and Vegeta end up going back to the future timeline with Goku Black, and there Vegeta is first up to face Goku Black. "Shall we begin?" Vegeta states in a calm but powerful tone. His mere presence is frightening, and with his mind totally at ease, he's even scarier. Vegeta blasts off, and just with his ordinary flying speed, a shockwave is created from behind him. Goku Black is taken aback by his speed, and even with this insanely strong body of his, he can't draw out his true power. Well, not yet at least. A single punch from base Vegeta wins Goku Black, then he kicks him downward. Before he can eventually slow down to a stop, Vegeta slams right into his stomach to launch him through an entire building. Vegeta doesn't even smirk in arrogance and just looks over him patiently. Goku Black can't stand to watch some mortal look at him with such pity, and so he rushes right back into battle. He raises and destroys a rock he picks up as he gets up, then flies right back to Vegeta. He comes up with an uppercut, but Vegeta just dips back and watches his fist completely miss him. Goku Black tries to throw a quick jab, but Vegeta blocks the attack and throws a jab of his own, aiming a little lower and for his chest specifically. This strike actually makes Goku Black cough blood in place then fall back. He heavily pants and wipes the blood across his face, while Vegeta just waits for him to throw an attack of his own. "Are you not going to say something?" Goku Black shouts back in rage. "I don't need to, we're fighting," Vegeta replies with solemnity. "This fight will remain in your favour for long. You forget that I possess the power that you have too, saying, when you hit me and beat me down, I come back stronger than ever before," he exclaims, which receives no reaction from Vegeta. "I know, if you have your power though as you claim, why haven't you transformed yet?" "It's because you can't," Vegeta states, which makes Goku Black grunt in anger. Then he screams and enters his Super Saiyan form, which makes Vegeta rather surprised. "Oh well, that form won't do much for you here," he replies, using instant transmission. Now behind Goku Black, he lands a punch to his back at full power that launches him nearly 10 meters forward. After being so suppressed just prior, it surprises him that he has become this strong with just Super Saiyan. "I don't think I could contend with him for much longer in just my ordinary form," Vegeta surmises as he begins to fight the new Super Saiyan. They trade blows and Goku Black only seems to be getting stronger after every attack he throws. Eventually, they both punch each other in the face and their punches are bang on equal in terms of force. Vegeta is now in a pant and so is Goku Black, but he knows that that pant will soon fade if he continues to face him in his base form. This is because he'll just get stronger and stronger and eventually overpower Vegeta. Vegeta then closes his eyes and enters Super Saiyan 3 with a single calm exhale before dispersing his aura. Goku Black still thinks he can beat Vegeta and he punches him square in his chest to see that he basically doesn't move from his original position. Goku Black can't even help but stare at the position he hit before fearfully looking up to see Vegeta's neutral face. Vegeta slowly lifts his right leg before shooting his entire body out to land a kick to his gut. His attack, now 400 times stronger than any kick he threw before, launches him back and even makes him descend slightly before he catches himself. Seeing Goku Black on the ropes, he uses instant transmission to appear below him and launch his final flash from below. Just before it lands, Zamasu saves Goku Black and this aggravates Vegeta quite a bit. Goku Black from a building transforms into his divine Super Saiyan Rosé state, which makes Vegeta second guess maintaining the current form that he's in. "Your Super Saiyan form with a divine twist. I shall call this Super Saiyan Rosé," he says, amped up from his new powers. "This isn't good. If the other guy Oki becomes too much of an issue for me, Gogeta will have to return," Vegeta states, beginning his fight with Goku Black. Vegeta lands a punch, then Goku Black does the same. Now they're practically equals and this shocks Vegeta quite a bit. Before he can receive another punch, he uses instant transmission, then lands a gut punch on Goku Black, making him cough up blood once again. He then lands a knee to his ribcage and follows through with a barrage of attacks that Goku Black can barely handle. Blood goes flying as the match continues, but as he continues to get beat down, his power increases. Eventually, Vegeta dives in with a scream to try and deliver the finishing blow, but the fist is just caught by Goku Black. He's already this strong, Vegeta thinks, in surprise. "I was just letting you beat me down for those last 3 attacks. I'll show you the true power of a god," Goku Black exclaims, kicking Vegeta into a building below them. As he falls through the top floor, Goku Black dives in through this newly created hole with his knees aimed forward. They clash with Vegeta's chest and the force from this cruel dive shatters the floor that they're atop. Before he gets the chance to transform, Goku Black throws a multitude of punches, but this only aggravates the prince. He roars after catching both of his hands, then he enters his Super Saiyan Blue evolution form right away. Now 1,000 times stronger, he lands a single punch to his face that launches him out of the building. Utilizing instant transmission, he arrives next to the being and lands several clean, precise punches. He lands an uppercut that shoots his chin up, then he aims lower for a left punch to the solar plexus, hurling him away. However, after this punch, he smiles as he feels himself getting much stronger. Vegeta can see this and is smart enough to no longer continue fighting. He arrives next to Goku, who is currently engaging Zamasu. He quickly realizes that Zamasu is no match for him, and he only uses Super Saiyan God to keep him at bay. They both begin the fusion dance and then form Gogeta once again. Gogeta smiles once he sees Zamasu ahead of him, then closes his eyes, letting out a calm exhale. Zamasu just takes this chance to attack him, but he almost phases through the attack since he seems impossible to touch. Zamasu throws a few more punches, but with his eyes closed he can move past every incoming attack as if he isn't even thinking about it. Finally, his eyes widen and a majestic glowing aura takes form as he enters Ultra Instinct Omen. I thought I'd be able to achieve this. Shall we begin? Gogeta states before making his stance. Zamasu just scoffs and throws a punch that is far too sluggish to even get close to Gogeta. He swerves past the punch and lands a single strike to his gut that just makes his body practically shut down. He falls to his hands and knees, then throws up while also throwing up blood. Luckily for him, he can heal to return his body to normal. The fear he has in his eyes when he looks at Gogeta is insane, but the fusion knows that he has no time to waste. You're a god and you're immortal, so I won't waste my time on you, he states before appearing before Goku Black. His demeanor ticks off the deity, then his right hand envelops in a dark pinkish ki to form a blade. He swings down, but the swing misses the target completely. He swings again, but Gogeta disappears. He lands a single punch to the side of his body, then follows through with a swiveling kick to his face. This kick sends him spinning away, and the rotational speed as he spins is astonishing. As he slows and slurs, Gogeta takes aim then punches him downward. He crashes into the ground and creates a massive crater, but Goku Black uses the last of his strength to fly upwards with a loud scream. He aims and throws two swift, powerful punches, but Gogeta doesn't even move as they land. He just looks down to the being and stares him down. Goku Black slowly flies back in fear, but Gogeta uses instant transmission to appear beside him. "Be gone," he states, using a special Stardust Breaker attack. He hurls the ball into Goku Black's back and his attack releases an explosion so powerful and violent that he is destroyed inside it. Now for Zamasu, Gogeta states, appearing ahead of him. He starts trying to think of what to actually do since there isn't much that they could do with Zamasu here. He returns to one of his feebler forms, Super Saiyan Blue. He then uses the Godbind technique, so there's basically nothing Zamasu can do anymore. Trunks arrives and again is taken aback by this being that has formed from the two Saiyans. Goku Vegeta, Gokuta, he continues on, trying to get his name, but he is just stopped by the fusion. "The name's Gogeta, Trunks," he replies as he holds Zamasu. "You know my name?" Trunks says in surprise. "Of course, Vegeta knows you, Goku knows you, therefore so do I," he states, holding Zamasu down. Gogeta defuses, but Zamasu is still held by Vegeta in his Super Saiyan Blue form using the Godbind. Then Goku returns to Earth once he remembers of the Mafuba, and Vegeta is tasked with holding Zamasu down until then. He thinks he can do so, and Goku is off to learn the Mafuba technique. With his new fighting prowess, he learns the Mafuba in just a few hours, then he returns to the future timeline, this time with the actual rice cooker. He seals Zamasu completely, but Vegeta is a little tired after holding him in the Godbind for so long. The mental effect of just standing there for so long is non-existent to him though, since he used to meditate for days on end in the hyperbolic time chamber. However, he ends up talking to Zamasu and getting an engaged conversation with him to try and understand why he acts the way he does. Zamasu tries to explain his inferiority as a mortal, but after meditating for so long and thinking, he has a set mentality and can easily debate the deity. However, he isn't able to talk Zamasu out of his plans, and so once Goku returns, he seals Zamasu into the rice cooker with the use of the Mafuba technique, and this leaves Trunks' universe fine and well. "Could I go with you guys back to the normal timeline?" Trunks requests as they're about to leave. He's been thinking, and since he's seen Goku and Vegeta so strong, he wants to go and train with them for a while to hopefully come back even stronger than before. He thinks he can do it, and with the universe saved, he can come back as an even stronger power to let it flourish. "Ma, you can come with me," Trunks says enthusiastically. Ma doesn't really have anything left in the timeline and decides to go, but she of course would like to return at some point. And so the group return in the time machine and return to the normal timeline with the threat of Zamasu removed. Beerus has done his part by destroying Zamasu during their fight with Goku Black, and this ends the Goku Black arc as a whole. After this, Goku, Vegeta and Trunks are all training on Beerus' planet, and Trunks has gained access to Super Saiyan God. His next step is Super Saiyan Blue, and Goku and Vegeta are both training to master Ultra Instinct. They are both very close and have even shown signs of it in training. Today, Beerus believes it's the day that one of them will gain access to the form. Beerus faces Goku and they both make their stance. "Watch boys, I believe we will get to see Ultra Instinct for the first time today," he says to Trunks and Vegeta, who watch from the sidelines. Goku races forward and clashes with Beerus, but since he's in his base form, no damage is caused. As their forearms are together, he shouts an end to the Super Saiyan Blue form, then continues attacking him in this state. He throws out a quick jab as a feint, then throws a more powerful, precise right punch, but Beerus catches it with ease. His body doesn't even move, and his fist just lands right into his palm. With a simple tug, Goku is pulled right off balance and kicked into the air. Calm, Goku, don't lose control now, Beerus states, as he flies up to Goku. He aims to attack him from in front, but in lieu of throwing a straight-on punch, he swerves to the side and kicks to the side of his body, which howls him more than 20 meters away. Goku, already breathing rather heavily, shouts and commands his body to use Kaioken times 30 on top of Super Saiyan Blue. His body feels strained, but he continues with the Kaioken and soars at Beerus with his new power. His upcoming knee requires significant amounts of effort to block from Beerus, but he envelops in a pink aura and lands a decently powered punch to his head. Goku doesn't stop his assault though, and subsequently he attempts to throw a multitude of punches and kicks to try and land at least one. Now being 30 times stronger, Beerus must put in considerable amounts of effort compared to how he was fighting before. This isn't Ultra Instinct, Goku. Do not pump up your body and get stronger and think Ultra Instinct is another one of your Saiyan transformations, Beerus explains, while in a heated battle. Ultra Instinct is a divine technique that requires a totally calm mind. You said you were meditating for 3 decades, but I don't see the mind to show for it, Beerus shouts, berating the Saiyan. He lands a single punch that launches him into the massive tree on his planet, then he slowly flies toward him in a scary way. Goku then returns to his base form and his eyes are closed. Suddenly his hair starts to wave around and his clothes do too, which makes Beerus stop in place. He's done it. A divine aura blasts out from his body and his new silver eyes are revealed once he widens them. He slowly lifts off the tree and exhales calmly as he feels his body being invigorated with this new power of his. Using instant transmission, he appears behind Beerus and punches him down to the ground with immense force. Then he flies down to him and lands 3 precise punches to his gut before double drop kicking him to the floor. Beerus roughly collides with the grass below, but he doesn't stop as he is simply too excited. He blasts up once again and decides to attack him again to see if he really has achieved Ultra Instinct. His body veers past every attack and leaves him dumbfounded. His body is graceful and flows like water, while he can even counter and throw powerful attacks of his own. However, the punches are more than manageable for Beerus. Is that Ultra Instinct? Trunks asks. Yes, although he's only using a part of it. He hasn't gotten drastically stronger in terms of offense, but he has managed to utilize the full power of Ultra Instinct in his defense, Whis claims, as he watches on. Goku is speedy, but Beerus is able to tank all of his attacks, and since Beerus is still so fast, there is little that he can do to compete with the God of Destruction. Some of his attacks kind of hurt him, but other than that, he's doing no damage. Beerus kicks him then spins around to kick him again, slamming him into the floor. Goku coughs out blood then lifts, confused since he wasn't able to dodge those attacks. You can dodge attacks but not everything. Don't think you're untouchable when you're only using a part of Ultra Instinct, Beerus says, making Goku's eyes widen in surprise. Yes, you have mastered the defensive part of Ultra Instinct, but you still haven't shown me the offensive part. You haven't gotten much stronger than before, Beerus states, which makes Goku close his eyes. He reaches deeper for strength and attempts to draw more of this power out. As he shouts, there is a deeper undertone to his voice and his hair switches from silver to a silky white. He roars then enters his true mastered Ultra Instinct form. So quickly, that is the full Ultra Instinct, he says, surprised. He then looks up to Beerus and slowly walks toward him before blasting off to attack him. They clash and Beerus' eyes widen from the force that he is put up against. He's on the level of the gods of destruction. How is this possible? A mere mortal, Beerus thinks to himself with a smirk of pride. Goku evades the incoming attacks and lands a kick to the side of his body, subsequently launching his left hand out with a ki blast inside. The blast explodes and launches Beerus back, but he appears above him and grows his body until he is 30 feet tall. With his massive fist, he slams Beerus into the ground and he doesn't even grunt in pain but laughs instead. Shrinking himself to his ordinary size, he dives down and dodges an incoming punch by smoothly pushing his body past the fist. Beerus then aims low once he descends and screams, throwing the most powerful shot that he has ever thrown to anyone other than Whis or Champa. The punch lands and knocks him right out of Ultra Instinct, while also hurling him more than 100 meters away. This Saiyan is way too close to my full power, so surprising, Beerus says. After this, Goku calls up Zeno, and when he talks to Zeno, he is far more respectful of him and his guards. However, when he talks about the tournament with all of the universes, he can't stop himself and can't wait to face the other fighters of the multiverse. Future Trunks is surprised that Goku is defying the literal god of destruction, and he even asks him what is going on. How come Goku never listens to you and is always causing trouble with this god of everything, Trunks asks, in a very respectful tone. It's hard to explain. He treats him with so much respect, but he treats him as an equal. He doesn't know his place. You understand. It seems your mind is more like a god of destruction than even Goku's or Vegeta's, he says. Do you really think so? Trunks says, taken aback by his statement. Of course. Have you ever thought about the God of Destruction position? Beerus says, as they prepare to head to where Goku is headed. I'd love to. I mean, I wouldn't destroy planets wrongfully, but if I had to, then I would, Trunks says, energetically. That's great to hear. Maybe Ultra Instinct won't be the form for you then. You might want to dabble in the power of destruction instead, he says with a smirk. Destruction? That's a different divine power from Ultra Instinct, Trunks inquires. Of course, how do you think we do our job? You'll understand once you see it for yourself, Beerus says, before leaving to where Goku is at. Beerus is very reluctant to do this tournament, but he knows how strong Goku and Vegeta are, and he wants to show off to the other universes just how strong they are. The gods of destruction all have their fight, and the fight goes pretty much the same, so I won't delve into that too much. What certainly does change is the battle between Goku and Toppo though. They both face off and Goku gives him a polite bow before their match. I hope you will be a great opponent, Goku says, before lifting his head to face Toppo. You're a very respectable person. I hope your physical strength is as endearing, Toppo states, flying right at Goku. Goku parries his first punch and flips over him gracefully before landing behind him. Toppo continues with his advancement and throws 2 punches to the Saiyan to try and land at least one. However, Goku swerves past both punches and enters Super Saiyan 3 to punch him in his gut. The punch hurls Toppo away and a bright light is also given off from his transformation. You're not a pushover, I can tell you that. I think I should get serious too then, Toppo states, activating his aura of a god form. I can't sense his power anymore, he must be using God Ki, Goku thinks, flying right back to Toppo. He throws a punch but uses instant transmission to throw it to his back. The punch lands, but Toppo literally doesn't move at all. He tanks the attack, then elbows Goku in his chest, which causes him to fall back in pain. Your universe is finished if this is the best fighter that you have, Toppo states, as Goku cowers away. I guess I'll have to get serious too then. Maybe I'll just jump straight to Ultra Instinct, Goku replies, which makes the gods of destruction extremely curious. This then makes Toppo scared. You're bluffing, he says, unable to accept what he said. Goku excels then returns to his base form before thinking back to the fight that he had with Beerus. He had used Ultra Instinct before in flashes and brief moments, but now he believes that he can activate it at will. His eyes turn a shiny silver and his hair remains dark, but his aura is clearly changed. The gods watch on in awe and Beerus can't help but smile through this. He feels even better once he sees the look on all of the other gods' faces. He has Ultra Instinct? Very impressive for a mere mortal, Valos says. Be quiet, Champa blurts out angrily. He excels again, then disappears. He then taps Toppo on his back before punching him with his other hand. Toppo flies off the ring, but Goku himself grabs him before he can fall and howls him back into the ring. He just crawls on the ground, holding his back in pain since the punch that he took was so overwhelmingly painful. Goku breathes out to calm himself even more, then returns to his ordinary state. Of course, the gods are dumbfounded, but are even more scared once they realize that their mortals have to go against someone of that strength. He might even be stronger than Jiren, Margarita, the Universe 11 Angel, says to Belmod. No chance, Jiren has even surpassed me. I won't stand to believe one of Beerus' mortals can be stronger than the strongest mortal in Universe 11, he states. The gods don't even give him the standing respect like before, as they're more scared than impressed. So after this, the Universe have to pick their squad for the upcoming tournament. The people picked for this tournament will be slightly different. Master Roshi is replaced by Future Trunks, and that's pretty much the only change. Goku, Vegeta and Future Trunks are the strongest members of this team, while Goku and Vegeta are leagues ahead of everyone else. Future Trunks has some good potential though with his Super Saiyan God form. They gather the fighters like in canon and the Tournament of Power begins. Goku and Vegeta leap off into the distance and their speed is immense. In their base forms, they're already incredibly strong and Goku heads right for the Pride Troopers ahead of him. In his base form, he is easily able to handle the weaker members of the troop. One Pride Trooper jumps up to punch him, but he grabs their extended fist and spins to hurl them out of the ring. Another fighter comes toward him, but he then kicks them away, hurling them off the ring also. After this showcasing of strength, Dispo lands ahead of his teammates and signals for them to back away. You guys back off and take some other guys out. This guy will be too much for you, Dispo says, as he arrives to face him directly. Do you not want us to help you? One Pride Trooper asks him, as he faces the Saiyan. No, you'll only hold me back, he says, before racing toward Goku. He uses his immense speed and catches Goku with a punch that takes him aback. He slides back from the punch, then takes another to his gut that makes him slide back even further. You're not weak at all, Goku says, almost excited from the battle that is about to ensue. Goku then takes 2 more hits to his face and the force behind them thrills him. He slides back as a result of getting hit by the second punch, but he stops himself before he falls back too far. As he falls back, Trunks lands ahead of Goku and reveals his sword. I'll take this guy on myself, Trunks says to Goku, entering his Super Saiyan form. He dashes off and zooms right toward him before swinging his sword to try and hit him. However, Dispo is just way too fast and he can't connect with any of the swings. Trunks sees that he just won't be able to hit him, and so he takes it up a notch and increases his form to Super Saiyan 2. Now twice as powerful, he rushes back to Dispo and throws a few more slashes, but he still can't land one. He drives forward his sword, but Dispo slips past his sword, then throws a punch that hits his face. This launches him away and leaves a bloody bruise on his face, which makes him aware of just how strong Dispo is. However, he can't even make himself stronger with another transformation before Dispo lands a punch to his gut, then kicks him back even further. You'll be a piece of cake to defeat, Dispo claims, haughtily shaking off his body. In this state, that might be true. I guess I should use my godly powers now, Trunks replies, sheathing his sword. He clenches his fists and shouts, erupting in a red aura. He looks back up to Dispo with red eyes, then his hair falls and follows this same colour scheme. He enters this godly state and becomes far more powerful, and his aura embellishes his appearance with writhing flame-like energy. "You got red hair, now what?" Dispo shouts, still confident in his own abilities. However, Trunks zooms forward and shoots himself ahead like an arrow, throwing a gut punch. Dispo is dumbfounded by his level of strength, and he coughs blood and spit. Then he throws a multitude of attacks, but before he can finish them off, Dispo uses his immense speed to dash back and retreat. He's now in a heavy pant and is covered in bruises and his own blood, but he doesn't want to show inferiority to Trunks. He then roars and releases a barrage of purple ki blasts that Trunks is forced to block using his sword. He gets hit by one that knocks him back slightly, then Dispo pounces. He dives ahead and throws a bunch of swift punches, but Trunks can block some with the use of his sword. Dispo tries to throw a quick jab, but Trunks uses the flat side of his sword to block the punch and swings down to slash him across his body. He tries to swing again, but Dispo swerves out of the way to then deliver a few more punches. Trunks is stronger than Dispo, but his speed is proving to be quite a problem. Both fighters can land and deal damage to each other though. Trunks tries to swing down with his sword to slash him in a downward fashion, but Dispo swerves past the side of his blade to land a hook to his gut, then a punch to his face. After a heated battle, both fighters are tired and injured since they have exerted themselves so much. "Alright, let's up this to the maximum," Trunks says, sheathing his sword. He starts screaming, and once he does so, the ground beneath him rumbles under the power that he's exerting. His aura switches to a flowing green colour, then a light blue aura. His hair and eyes follow that same colour scheme, and he transforms. His new pristine aura flows more gracefully, and he feels great after his body getting vitalized from the form. "So this is Super Saiyan Blue. Let's end this quickly," Trunks says, charging at Dispo. Now 50 times stronger, he punches him once and makes him fall to his knees. The punch makes his stomach spasm in pain, and as he is in this position, Trunks grasps onto his shirt's arm and tosses him off the ring entirely, eliminating Dispo. Wanting to use the power that he now has access to, he eagerly dashes away to face some more enemies. Vegeta faces Toppo in his base form and remains in his base form. "You better be as strong as Goku over there, if not you will stand no chance," Toppo says, facing him with haughtiness. "Don't worry, I'm definitely as strong as Goku," Vegeta states, transforming. He begins the fight in his Super Saiyan God form. He saw how strong Toppo was when he fought Goku, and so he starts off with a decently strong form. Toppo uses his strongest state from the jump and tries to punch Vegeta, however he leaps right over the punch and kicks him right in his face before stepping to the side to leave himself unscathed. As he steps back, Toppo launches a ki blast in his direction. The large ki blast zooms at him, but he uses a powerful backhand to launch it across the arena. The power of this ki blast launches so many people right off the ring, and Vegeta doesn't look concerned at all. Toppo then advances swiftly using his immense speed. His speed is concerning for his size, and he hurls his fist right for the Saiyan's head. The punch is fast, but Vegeta ducks right under his large fist to evade. With himself ducked down, Toppo uses a close-up ki blast to launch him into the air. As he descends, Toppo spins to kick him across the arena. "You stand no chance," Toppo declares, storming toward him. Vegeta slowly raises and doesn't look at all fazed, with his face of aloofness. While standing stationarily, he shouts and uses his new Super Saiyan Blue evolution form, then charges straight for Toppo. He's so fast now, and he's able to speed blitz the Pride Trooper. Toppo first perceives him once he's in the air, diving down to punch him. A single punch to his chest launches him more than 10 meters, but Vegeta continues attacking him. He jumps up then swivels to the left, kicking him directly in his face. This kick literally slams his face into the floor of the arena, almost knocking him out with this single strike. Vegeta then walks up to him with his burly physique and stares into his soul with his spine-chilling gaze. "You performed well, Pride Trooper," Vegeta says, kicking him right out of the ring. Belmont is very confused and concerned after feeling how strong Vegeta is. He just took down Toppo with only a few attacks, which also left him severely injured. Goku faces Jiren, and both of them don't even attack yet. Goku is eager to face him, but Jiren evidently doesn't have the same desires. "Will you continue to just stand in front of me? If you do, I'll force you out of the way," Jiren states boldly. "You really are strong, I can tell just by your demeanor," Goku says in excitement, then making a stance. In his base, he leaps right toward Jiren and throws a few punches that are all evaded by Jiren. He throws a straight right that Jiren veers past with his arms still crossed. Goku still uses this momentum and flips to then throw down a kick, but Jiren steps back so that his foot crashes into the arena floor and cracks it. Goku engulfs in his silver aura, then zooms forward to try and punch him, but Jiren catches the punch with utmost ease. With his smaller fist in his palm, Jiren kicks him back, effortlessly propelling him several meters away. Goku wheezes from taking this hit, and since he's in his base form, this punch really deals some serious damage. Goku takes his stance and enters his Super Saiyan form, charging forward. The fight continues in this way, where Jiren can dodge each one of his punches while remaining unscathed. Even while Goku is using all of his power, his weaker forms are proving to be quite futile in his battle. Before he can get hit himself, he steps back and ascends into one of his stronger states, Super Saiyan God. Goku then uses his quick battle wit to appear behind him with the use of instant transmission. He throws a precise quick punch, but Jiren catches the punch without even looking at it. No chance, Jiren says, before throwing him overhead. Goku crashes into the arena floor and rolls away with just this slam, and Jiren returns to crossing his arms and just standing there. Goku then enters his Super Saiyan Blue form and then reaches further. I guess I'll have to use my strongest Saiyan transformation. You're going to be the first person I've ever fought with this power, Goku says, exhaling calmly. He then starts adding Kaioken to his form and ends up utilizing Kaioken times 40, which gives him a massive pressurizing aura. In this canon, he's more than 1,000 times stronger than his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken counterpart in the canon timeline. Goku dashes right to his target, and since Jiren has been able to take all his attacks, he allows himself to hit him. Goku punches him in the stomach, and this punch takes him aback. He slides back and holds the area of impact in pain, but Goku doesn't have time to waste. He continues attacking him, and he does some damage, and he can land attacks. He chips Jiren on his chin, leaving a bruise on his cheeks, and elbows him in the chest. With the last of his Kaioken, he uses instant transmission to attack him from various angles, and he does this so that he doesn't get attacked back. He appears to Jiren's left side and kicks him so that his left knee unwillingly falls to the ground, and Goku disappears to then appear above him. He kicks him in the back of his head, then disappears again and continues attacking him in this fashion. However, this only increases Jiren's rage. Goku appears in front of him and launches a full power Kamehameha wave, but Jiren slips past the beam of energy. He pursues Goku like a crazed predator, darting right to his target with nothing else on his mind. He punches Goku, but he manages to block at the last second. He is still launched away, but he manages to take less damage from his punch as a result of his block. His Kaioken fades after he raises to his feet, and after this he knows he stands no chance. After feeling that punch from Jiren, he could get seriously hurt if he continues to fight him in this way. However, as he takes a more aware glance at the arena, he sees Trunks engaging an enraged Kale, and he looks very injured. Trunks screams and flies in with his sword aimed right for the uncontrolled warrior. However, his swing doesn't even cut her, then she grabs his face to slam him into the ground. The only people facing her are Piccolo, Gohan and Android 17, and not strong enough to face her inexorably growing power, and they all get eliminated all the same. Trunks, beaten down and barely conscious, uses his sword to raise up, then brandishes the sword while shouting. "We're not done," he shouts, then sheathing his sword. He screams and reaches deep for any bit of power that he could possibly attain, but as he powers up, he completely runs out of stamina and falls to the ground in exhaustion. Kale continues to go on a mindless rampage, assailing anybody in sight, even her own teammates. Using her power, she fuses with Caulifla and forms the Super Being Fusion Kefla. Almost no one is there to face her and her ultimate power, but Vegeta then arrives to deal with the threat. "A fusion, what a surprise," Vegeta says in his Super Saiyan Blue Evolution form. "Yeah, a fusion stronger than you," Kefla declares, pointing at herself. Vegeta just looks at her nonchalantly and waits for her to begin the battle, which she does. She flies directly at Vegeta and aims ahead with a kick, but as she does so, Vegeta vanishes from sight. He then appears instantly, this time standing beside her. He kicks her and decides to hurl her into the central pole of the arena, then appears in front of her. "You're a fusion, this fight won't last long, sadly," Vegeta says, trying to punch her in the face. She uses all of her speed and effort to evade before leaping away and launching a multitude of ki blasts. As they center all on the target at hand, the Saiyan Prince uses his speed and precision to swat away the blasts, sending them flying across the arena. Once she lands, he appears in front of her and lands a clean punch to her chest, which launches her back. Kefla, unwilling to accept her apparent inferiority, dashes toward Vegeta and throws a wild swing that he veers past with ease. Then he kicks her in the gut so hard that she coughs out blood and falls onto the arena ground. "Forced spirit fission," Vegeta shouts, punching her in the back with a mystical energy. Once he does this, they both split apart and a Potara earring is forcefully pulled off Kale's ear. Vegeta sees this earring dropping, then stomps on it to make sure that they can't fuse again. He grabs Kale, now in her base form, and chucks her right out of the ring before punching Caulifla off it completely. With these two threats gone, the only threat to Universe 7 eventually becomes Jiren himself. Goku is currently battling him, and even in Super Saiyan Blue, he isn't a match for the ultimate power that Jiren possesses. Goku, before he can get injured significantly, leaps back to Vegeta's side. "Let's leave this tournament with a little flair," Vegeta says, making Goku nod. The other fighters in Universe 7 don't really know what he's on about, but then they begin to perform the fusion dance. After performing the fusion dance, Gogeta is born once again. Just in his base form, he is incredibly strong and could easily handle the likes of fighters like Dispo and other fighters around that level. "Jiren, I'll allow you to see my strongest form. You are a hard-working warrior and I commend you for that. Now I shall show you mastered Ultra Instinct," he declares, calming his mind. He closes his eyes, and as he does so, he is encapsulated in a majestic, pristine aura. His body grows stronger and stronger, and he truly surpasses even Beerus in power. Upon seeing this, Beerus lifts and can't believe what he's seeing. Gogeta with silvery white hair slowly starts to walk toward Jiren, and the power that he has is amazing. Now he is far above every god of destruction and is in between the power of those gods and the angels. He isn't on the level of an angel yet, but judging from the power that Gogeta possesses now, that might well be possible for the fusion in the future. Just his aura emits a rumble in the arena ground, and Jiren can't actually believe the strength of the being in front of him. After all of that training to prove to his master his power, he cannot let himself lose, and so he rushes in like a rabid beast with only attacking on his mind. Gogeta doesn't even move from his original position and just dodges all of the attacks without moving back a single meter. Jiren then shouts after contemplating his possible inferiority and uses all the power that he has. The power emitted on the arena right now is insane, and almost everyone can feel the pressure. Jiren darts forward with a scream and from point blank range uses his strongest energy wave to try and subdue the fusion. In the wave of energy, Gogeta is revealed to be unharmed, then he grabs Jiren by his neck. He immediately submits to his force and can't do anything to be freed from his unwavering grasp. Jiren tries to swing at him from the position that he's in to hit Gogeta, but with his body, he moves past every attack with ease. He doesn't even get hit once, then just lets Jiren go to see what he can do. He can still move past every attack that comes his way. Jiren attempts to attack him with a punch from his left, but Gogeta dips past the punch then lands one of his own. This single punch drops Jiren to his knees, coughing blood and holding his gut tightly. He can barely keep himself from vomiting and just falling to the ground, but his resolution is too strong. He stands again, but Gogeta just takes his chance and punches him in his chest. Once he extends his arm, he is hurled back and right off the ring, now unconscious. Gogeta then returns to his base form and the gods of destruction are blown away. The fusion respectfully bows to the crowd before enveloping in a light to reveal Goku and Vegeta once again, only minorly harmed. After the Tournament of Power is over, the universes are erased and Jiren looks very sad. However, Goku is there to console him in his last moments before he disappears. Ultimately, they're all wished back by Goku, who wants to face Jiren again in the future and hopefully meet some of the other strong members of the universes once again. Therefore, Universe 7 wins the Tournament of Power and the Tournament of Power arc comes to an end. The next arc that comes along though is the arc with Broly. This arc obviously just covers the events that took place in the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now, as far as I'm aware, nothing much will change about the whole movie plot until Goku and Vegeta meet Broly themselves. Just like in the canon timeline, Vegeta gets to face him first. Oh, and of course Future Trunks is there too. Frieza isn't even sure if Broly will be able to beat Vegeta, but he thinks that he has a much better chance than he does from the things that he has heard. Broly screams and charges forward to attack Vegeta, punching him right in his face. However, Vegeta doesn't even move back and eats the punch as if he's just getting tapped on the head. So this is your level of strength. I'm not impressed, Vegeta says monotonously before grabbing his arm to slam him into the ground. This slam cracks the earth and causes such cracks to extend out from the point of impact with the floor. Broly then stands again and in rage charges forward to try and attack Vegeta. However, he slips past each and every attack he throws with a neutral facial expression as he does this. Broly is getting stronger and faster, but he still isn't on the level of Vegeta right now. Broly throws forward his left punch with a terrifying scream, which destroys the ice mountain positioned directly behind Vegeta. A large amount of cool wind blasts out as a result of this punch, but Vegeta moves past the attack seamlessly, even though it is so fast. Frieza finds it odd that he's able to move past such attacks, even with his level of strength. So he's using a slither of Ultra Instinct in his base form. Neat, Goku says, watching on. Trunks, I'll let you face this guy yourself, Vegeta says, using instant transmission to disappear from the area. Future Trunks, in his own jacket, nods, then pulls it off and unsheathes his broadsword. He darts forward swiftly and downward to head toward Broly, and he drives forward his sword. However, Broly grabs him by the neck before he can stab him, only tapping his chest lightly. His clothing provides just enough protection so that the tip of the blade doesn't pierce his skin, then he is slammed into the icy ground after receiving the hit. Trunks coughs blood from the high force upon his neck, but as he is pinned to the ground, he lets loose. His aura blasts away Broly once he enters his Super Saiyan 3 form. The ice around him starts to melt too, and he shoots out from the small dip that he has made in the ground. He slices through Broly's shirt and actually cuts him before kicking him into an ice mountain. As he flies away, he sheathes his sword and launches his full power big burning attack. The large ball of red-orange energy soars toward Broly, clashing with his stomach before letting off a massive hot explosion that melts a large amount of ice around him. A huge mountain turns to water vapor, and small droplets of water stay suspended in the air while other larger volumes of water swoosh under the angry Saiyan. Trunks smirks once he sees this because he feels that he has defeated Broly. He didn't put enough into the attack to kill him, of course. He does have sympathy, but he believes that the fight is over. However, Broly comes flying toward him in his Akari form, screaming at the top of his lungs. He punches Trunks and the punch doesn't just feel 10 times stronger than he was before. Trunks is launched away and even Goku is surprised by his sudden increase in strength. What is the cause for this? Goku asks calmly in a powerful tone to Vegeta. I believe it has something to do with his constant power increases. It's like he's learning and growing as he fights, Vegeta theorizes, as they continue to watch the battle. Trunks trades blows with Broly, but after their quick exchange of attacks, Trunks is faring far worse than his opponent. Sluggishly, he throws forward a punch, but Broly just tanks the attack, then punches him twice in his gut so hard that he returns to his base form. Finally, Broly grabs him with one of his gargantuanly sized palms and chucks him into an ice mountain before diving down himself to slam him through the entire thing. This combination of attacks sounds like an explosion going off, and both the Saiyans are quite concerned for Trunks. However, they sense his key signature is pretty fine and he hasn't been hurt too severely. Trunks from the ground shouts and utilizes the Super Saiyan God transformation from the jump. Just for some scaling here, Trunks is relative to Goku and Vegeta's strength in canon at this point. He is slightly weaker than them, but not by much at all. If he was to fight canon Goku or canon Vegeta from the Broly arc, the fight would be long and tight but would eventually end in his defeat. Trunks then envelops his sword in a godlike aura and uses a cool technique like Goku's Godbind. He has a neat, unique technique that he can utilize with his form that creates a slash of ki when he slashes his sword, making such sword even more deadly. He throws the slash and it cuts through Broly's arm, leaving a deep gash in it. It makes him scream in pain, and with this Uzaru-like mind, it only makes things worse. Broly punches him in the face, but there is no initial reaction. Trunks is shot back about a meter, but he feels little pain from the attack, and thus he knows that he is stronger than the Saiyan. He kicks Broly in his gut, then slashes at his body twice before landing a super powerful punch akin to the punch Vegeta landed that sent the Saiyan literally flying in the actual movie. Broly is now in the wall of a mountain made of dense ice, growling to himself in rage. After this exchange of attacks, Goku wants to get a piece of the pie and teleports to arrive beside Trunks. "You want to fight just as I was getting serious? Alright then," Trunks says, reverting to his base form and retreating. "Thank you, Trunks," Goku replies, with a polite nod. He then faces Broly and appears in front of him with the use of instant transmission. Broly just rips himself out from the ice mountain and kicks Goku through one. Since he was still in his base once he took that attack, it deals serious damage and makes him feel a sharp pain every time he inhales, but then he ups his power to Super Saiyan 3. Well, this will be a nice time to test this. Super Saiyan 3 Kaioken times 10, Goku exclaims, placing heavy strain on his body. He doesn't intend to use this form for long at all, since it's so inefficient for the power that it gives him, but he continues on like this for a while just to try and get his body accustomed to such a power. He darts ahead and clashes with Broly, launching him back. Goku follows after him, then lands a few more attacks that push him further and further away. From the way it seems, Broly is getting stomped by Goku. He throws 2 wild swings at Goku, but he veers past each one as if he doesn't even have to think about it. This is because Goku and Vegeta have learned to utilize Ultra Instinct in their other forms without having to access their specific Ultra Instinct transformations. With his right arm extended, Goku comes in from under and lands an uppercut to his chin before double drop kicking him into the ground, shooting him down like a bullet. The collision he makes with the ground is very rough and loud, but Goku doesn't stop there. He swoops in like a falcon, and before Broly can raise, he punches him back into the newly created crater, then rattles off with a bunch of attacks. He continues throwing and throwing, continuously pushing the Saiyan back into the ground. However, once he does this, Frieza decides to have a different option for bringing about Broly's latent abilities. He executes Paragus and Broly snaps. He transforms and destroys the landscape around him, blasting Goku away. Goku deactivates his Kaioken before it starts eating up his stamina, and he does so even before the 60-second time limit is over. He then ascends into his Super Saiyan Blue form and clashes with Broly. He knocks away Broly, then punches him downwards so that he slams into the ground. Just this punch creates a massive crater and Goku continues. He throws a multitude of punches and injures Broly for a time. He grabs one of his gargantuanly sized arms and hurls him away before blasting toward him speedily. He uses instant transmission, then punches him even further back. Broly coughs out blood after receiving so many punches and kicks, and even Super Saiyan doesn't seem like enough for him to take out the God Ki powered Saiyan. Broly then snaps even more and utilizes his Super Saiyan full power state that makes him even larger and more intimidating. Goku dives forward and punches his muscly body, but Broly doesn't even move back. He looks down to his fist then unloads. He starts beating up Goku badly and he has reached alarming levels of strength. Goku can barely keep up, but he can still block and evade some of his attacks, although this causes little effect on increasing his chances of success in the battle. The landscape is altered into a volcanic wasteland and Goku slams through lava from a punch he is forced to take from Broly. The fight continues and eventually Goku lays in Broly's grasp. Broly has grabbed him by the neck and blood drips out from his mouth. He's barely able to stay conscious, but with this remaining strength he reaches further. His hair returns to normal and he returns to his base form, but then he transforms. His hair turns to a silvery white and he utilizes his mastered Ultra Instinct form. Broly gets blasted away and it really isn't looking good for Broly now. Goku at this point rivals Beerus in power, but he isn't stronger than him. I'd say that Gogeta when he uses this form is significantly stronger than Beerus, but when Goku uses mastered Ultra Instinct he's on the level of Beerus, but he isn't exactly relative to him. Of course he is God of Destruction level since he is stronger than Belmont because he is stronger than Jiren. Goku drives forward his knee and wins Broly once he hits him in the stomach. Next, he swings further upward and hits him in the face, and this punch hurls him more than 10 meters back. Before he can even go back to him, Goku flies at him first and veers past one of his incoming punches. He then dodges another one of his punches and rattles off with even more punches, mainly to his chest. His last punch hurls him around 20 meters back, then Goku opens his palm and watches the Saiyan. It kills him to have to eliminate him now, but he's just way too much of a threat. "You are a very strong warrior, Broly. I hope you meet some other time," Goku says, while Broly just screams in rage. He launches an energy wave directly ahead, but then at the last second, Broly is saved. Vegeta looks at this happen in confusion and he can't even understand what just happened. How come he just disappeared? Trunks wonders in surprise. He's been saved in some way. Hopefully he doesn't just die, he'll be a great warrior, Vegeta says, while watching Goku revert to normal. After this, the Broly movie is pretty much done. The next major arc is of course the Moro arc. The main difference with this series is that Buu doesn't exist and thus the kidnappers don't arrive on Earth at all. However, the Galactic Patrol crew know of Goku and Vegeta and how they are basically the strongest mortals in the whole universe. Well, they aren't too sure once Moro is free and starts to wreak havoc. Since he is free, the only people they can call are Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, who are both in Ultra Instinct, are training with each other and getting stronger on Beerus' planet. They're both bruised and tired from exerting themselves so much in their battles. They are training in UI Omen to try and adapt to the Ultra Instinct's defense so that they can land attacks of their own. Now, weak and frail, they both land punches simultaneously, knocking each other onto the ground and out of their Ultra Instinct forms. Great, you two are making great progress with Ultra Instinct. If one of you two achieve immortality, I wouldn't be surprised if you would surpass me or even the Grand Priest, Whis says to them. Vegeta stands and gives off a phlegmatic look as he thinks back to his older days as a bloodthirsty Saiyan soldier. "I did once. However, after those 30 years in the time chamber, I see no need to do so. We don't even have much time before our age catches up to us. At the very maximum, we have 25 years left. I'll fight and I'll go," Vegeta explains, which Whis finds very respectable. After this, while they are recovering, Whis receives a call from Bulma, then Goku, Vegeta and Trunks teleport to Earth to see Jacko. Jacko, in front of the Capsule Corp building, is met by the three Saiyans. "What's up, Jacko?" Goku asks. "There's a new threat. A man that us, the Galactic Patrol, kept imprisoned, who was also imprisoned for millions of years prior, has escaped. He has power beyond even our capabilities, and I believe that the only people that can stop him are you guys," Jacko explains. "We'll do whatever needs to be done. Another strong warrior to face. You got Broly, so this time I'll fight him," Vegeta says, excited to meet this new threat. Now in the ship, the group make a slight diversion to take out the Macaroni gang that show up. The main change of events is when Vegeta shows up to face Moro himself, who also wants to repent and make up for the pain he caused on Namek, and fighting Moro makes him believe that he can do just that. Vegeta faces Moro, who stops in place to face the Saiyan. "So you're Moro. Shall we begin?" Vegeta says, making his stance. "You are the one sensing my strength, and I believe there was another." "We shall," Moro says, making his own stance. Vegeta flies forward and drags up his leg for a kick. Moro evades the attack entirely. Vegeta comes down with a few more punches that even make Moro fall back step by step, but he ultimately lands none of them. The Saiyan Prince then pretends to try and punch him in the face, but at the last second he uses instant transmission to then drive a ki blast into his back. The blast explodes and knocks Moro forward, but he receives pretty much no injury from the attack. Next, Vegeta realizes that he won't be able to do much in his base form, and so he enters Super Saiyan 3. He is unaffected by the form, and he possesses no aura to even bring him down a little. This is of course after 30 years in the time chamber he learned to master Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta dives forward again, and once he does so, Moro tries to pull him around using his telekinesis abilities. However, Vegeta stays flying in a straight path and seems unaffected by the forces being placed on his body. He strikes Moro on his forearm, slalling him back quite significantly. He leaves a sizey bruise on his arm, but he now looks quite agitated and lifts a bunch of trees and rocks. They float around him and almost totally conceal him, but he then hurls them toward Vegeta. The Saiyan looks unfazed, and using his gigantification abilities, he smashes the items to bits and pieces with his colossal limbs. He then returns to his original size and stares down Moro before roaring and transforming. His hair changes to red and there is a monumental increase to his strength. He charges forward toward Moro and engages in combat with him. His first kick slides him back several meters, then Vegeta follows through with a barrage of ki blasts that Moro can't seem to evade. They're too fast and they create dense, voluminous smoke clouds. From this cloud of smoke, however, a wave of energy from the planet itself soars toward Vegeta. Using a concentrated punch, he strikes the center of the energy wave and destroys it completely. Moro, after seeing him unaffected by this wave of energy, launches several of them, but Vegeta just closes his eyes and opens them powerfully. His body swerves past every beam of energy as if he doesn't even have to think about it. He breathes calmly and makes graceful movements, and the ground around him gets destroyed from these waves of energy driving into the ground. Moro charges ahead while shouting and tries to punch Vegeta. He just lets him get the hit, but once Vegeta takes the hit, he realizes what is up about Moro. After getting punched, he arrives beside Goku and Trunks and reveals to them what is going on. The reason he has lived so long is because he has many souls in his body. I think I know exactly how we can get rid of this guy, Vegeta explains, making Moro intrigued. Ah, so you know the origin of my strength. You are quite intelligent, Moro states arrogantly. I possess an ability that can split the souls from you, Vegeta declares, and Moro thinks is a bluff. Moro just chuckles and doesn't reply, but then Vegeta appears behind him and throws a multitude of punches to his back. Each time he lands a strike, energy is released from Moro that makes him weaker and weaker. He starts to age significantly and he can even feel his body getting frailer. Before he can release himself and escape this assault, Goku punches him into the ground. Vegeta uses special key rings to keep Moro down, like he used against Goku in their fight in the Buu Saga, and Moro can barely move. Goku continues by using forced spirit fission himself, and Trunks is taken aback by their chemistry. Without even talking, they can act and coordinate themselves to be on the same wavelength. Moro starts coughing blood once the hits he dishes out are so damaging and powerful. As the souls are getting ripped out from him, he literally looks like a living corpse. Finish him off, Kakarot, Vegeta states, making Goku swipe at his neck swiftly. His coarse, weak flesh severs from just this minor force and he is killed since he is decapitated. This then means that Cranberry ends up trying to flee as his chances of getting any wishes are removed. This means the prisoners from the galactic prison are not removed, and with Moro dead, the threat of Moro is practically gone. Goku, Vegeta and Trunks bid their farewells to the Namekians and just return to Beerus' planet to continue training since they've finished the job. Vegeta wouldn't just head to Yardrat since he's already been there, and Beerus has no reason to train Goku since there is no foe. Also, this means that he survives and doesn't get erased by Whis, but his actions are still watched intently by the Angel. His recent actions have proved that he is likely to break the code, and so he is kept under angelic supervision. The main thing that changes is that the gap between Goku and Vegeta and their canon counterparts narrows, since they both don't undergo their respective training arcs. To begin the Granola arc, the original owners of the android 7-3 still possessed the android. Sagambe was never released from jail to join Moro and captured this special android that was being developed. This then means that 7-3 doesn't have any special abilities captured from facing the fighters on Earth, unlike the canon 7-3. Granola then captures a weaker version of 7-3. I'll just say that he has to acquire the being anyway, and he does so far more easily since the other OG models are weaker. He returns 7-3 to the Heaters like usual, and the difference with the plot is that the Heaters can't find out about the Dragon Balls from 7-3's memories. That is because he never actually encountered the people on Earth, and he hasn't assimilated that knowledge from copying their abilities. However, this is all good because when Granola returns from wishing to be the strongest in the universe, he reveals the power of the Dragon Balls, and now the Heaters know what they can do. As an extra detail, since Goku and Vegeta are much stronger in this timeline, I'll give Granola only 1.5 years to live, since his power boost is greater from Minaito's dragon. During this time, Goku and Vegeta can both use Mastered Ultra Instinct, and future Trunks is training a totally different ability, Destruction. He doesn't have Ultra Ego yet, but he can turn large masses of rocks into nothing, releasing heaps and heaps of energy. He uses this power to face Goku and Vegeta, but he is still nowhere near equal to them. Also, during training, he has gained access to Super Saiyan Blue evolution like his father, and he uses Destruction in tandem with this form when he uses his full power. The Heaters still lie to Granola, and this makes him very determined to battle and kill the Saiyan to take revenge for what happened to his planet. They arrive at the scene, and they then see a bunch of green energy beams soar toward them. Goku and Vegeta utilize Ultra Instinct in their base forms, and Trunks is forced to enter Super Saiyan since the attacks are so swift. These energy beams are also more powerful and faster than in the canon because Granola himself is stronger. Goku and Vegeta can still swerve past each attack, and as they use more accurate forms of Ultra Instinct in their base forms, Trunks gets hit in the back of the neck by Granola. Since future Trunks was a disciple of future Shin when he had to take out Dabra in his own timeline, he can heal people and decides to heal himself instead of using a Senzu Bean. His powers are slower and less effective than the Senzu Bean, but it's good so that he doesn't waste them. What even were those blasts? Trunks wonders, gripping onto his sword handle tightly. They were quick and precise, I wonder, Vegeta says, looking around at the surroundings. However, Granola charges in at the group, but before he can arrive, Trunks destroys a collection of rocks to release a massive explosion in between the three Saiyans and the Cerulean. Quick thinking, Trunks, Goku says with praise. However, Granola blasts through the smoke and aims for Trunks. He shouts and aims for hitting him in the face, but Trunks parries his punch with the flat side of his sword. Subsequently, he kicks him, but Granola doesn't even move. Trunks follows with a bunch of swings, but none of them connect. As he is fighting, Goku and Vegeta are just analysing his abilities and how Granola fights. Alright then, Trunks says, sheathing his sword. After doing so, he clashes with Granola and Trunks almost immediately gets pushed back. In their push though, Trunks ups his power past Super Saiyan and reaches further, entering Super Saiyan God. This makes him slower in his retreat, but Granola is still stronger than him. While they are pushing against each other, Granola spontaneously pulls back and strikes him in one of his vital points, taking him out in one fell swoop. You can see vital points with that right eye. What an impressive ability, Vegeta says, facing Granola now. He appears in front of him with the use of instant transmission and allows for Trunks to get healed with the Senzu Bean. He can't heal himself when he is unconscious, and so Goku has to rush to his aid. "Why do you Saiyans hold back against me? I am the strongest in the universe," Granola boldly claims, which is met by no reaction from Vegeta. Vegeta uses his base form for now and attacks Granola. Granola throws out the first punch, but Vegeta swerves past this attack with the use of Ultra Instinct and kicks him in his back. The kick causes little damage and his adversary doesn't seem affected by the strike at all. Granola swivels and kicks Vegeta back more than 15 meters, which wins the Saiyan Prince. His breathing has now intensified, but he knows that if this guy is the strongest in the universe, he won't stand a chance with the form that he's in. Therefore, he enters UI Omen and the area around him is destroyed by his massive pressurizing aura. There's no time to waste. "Shall we begin?" Vegeta asks, making Granola enraged. Granola roars and runs toward him with his speed, but Vegeta can still see him clearly. Once his first punch soars toward Vegeta, he dips back and away from the attack, then throws a gut punch of his own. Granola grunts in pain, and before he can throw another attack of his own, he is hit by a punch to the face to launch him back. As Vegeta advances, he drives forward his knee, but Granola evades his attack and lands a precise punch to his flank that rattles his liver. Vegeta is launched into a purple tree, and since he is using a form that is based on defense, he isn't as strong as he could be using Mastered Ultra Instinct. They continue this battle briefly and they seem like equals. Vegeta can dodge his attacks far easier, but his attacks don't deal as much damage as he'd desire. "Alright, now for my full power," Vegeta states, entering Mastered Ultra Instinct. He smirks, excited by the battle, and rushes right back in to engage in combat. He pretends to throw a punch directly forward, but at the last second, he uses instant transmission to arrive behind Granola. Now out of his range, he punches him in his back, then appears in front of him again to punch him in his gut after his back curls over. This makes Granola cough out blood, but before Vegeta is done, he lands 2 quick kicks that force him away. After these attacks, he falls to a knee and coughs out more blood, but he doesn't seem too bothered by his apparent inferiority. "I know why you hate us so much. You were from a planet that we exterminated," Vegeta says calmly. Granola, upon hearing this and his solemn tone, furiously flies back to him to try and attack him. He precisely aims for one of his vital points and takes his shot, but Vegeta's body swerves out of the way seamlessly. Ultimately, he is hit with a punch to the gut once again to return him to his knees. Now, Vegeta knows what he has to do, and that is to beat Granola, then convince him that they aren't evil Frieza Force assassins like the Heaters claimed. "I told you I was the strongest in the universe, and I wasn't lying," Granola says, with a smile. Goku, spectating this battle from the sidelines, is confused, but as Granola reveals that he used a clone, everything makes sense. "I've worn down your Ultra Instinct enough so that now I can take aim," his clone states before vanishing. The real Granola arrives and tries to kick him, but Vegeta flips over the swinging kick with relative ease. It confuses him since the attack really wasn't that fast, but the next attack that comes is far swifter. However, before Granola can land an attack, Goku slams him out of the way while using Mastered Ultra Instinct. "He was going to strike you on one of your vital points, be careful," Goku says, making the 2 Ultra Instinct warriors stand side by side. However, from behind them, Trunks flies through the gap between them in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution and punches Granola. The punch takes Granola aback, and that's pretty much all it does. He throws a left hook, but as it soars toward his target, Granola dips under his fist. He then lands a punch to his gut, but before he can throw another attack, Trunks lands an attack of his own. He kind of just eats the attack, and as he lands the attack, he destroys a fragment of rock in his fists to create an explosion, amplifying the power of his strike. Granola staggers away slightly, but he then dives forward again and aims to hit Trunks in his main vital. Before he can land the attack though, Trunks leaps away so that he can't land the attack. He predicted his move, then just held himself out of range. I guess that's what he has to do without Ultra Instinct, Vegeta says, spectating the fight. "I present to you a different power now, Granola. A power that is all ego," Trunks declares, dipping down to power up. His hair swiftly switches to purple and he roars, cracking the ground around him. He has gained access to Ultra Ego. Trunks feels great as he is invigorated by the form, then he charges right back in to try and attack Granola. He throws 2 punches, but Granola swerves past both attacks, then punches him once in his gut. He hits him in a vital, but Trunks remains conscious and feels himself getting stronger. Before Granola can react, Trunks suddenly punches him in the face and surprises him since it's faster than his last 2 punches. Trunks shouts and charges forward again, landing 2 more punches. Granola lets him land this attack, but then Granola uses a swift sidestep to leave his field of view and blast him in his flank area. Trunks falls back, and as he does so, Granola charges forward and lands a multitude of punches and kicks to his body. Since Granola is stronger than Goku and Vegeta, he is way stronger than Trunks, even with Ultra Ego. Trunks coughs blood and stumbles over a fallen tree, but then his power increases even further. Trunks laughs to the ground and his purple aura is revealed once again. "He's getting much stronger, he's even approaching our level of strength," Vegeta claims. Trunks now is around 1% the strength of MUI Goku and a slightly higher percent of Vegeta's MUI form, around 1.4 or 1.5% or something. Trunks grabs a large rock from the ground and leaps at Granola, aiming for the punch. He strikes the rock into Granola's face and it explodes on impact, releasing a gigantic explosion. Trunks then forms an equally sized Hakai blast in his left hand and he chucks his blast ahead, but Granola swerves past the ball so that he isn't hit by it. The ball detonates behind him, and soon after this explosion Minato arrives. He then reveals what happened with Granola, his mother and the Saiyans, and explains who Bardock was. Elliot gets his wish like usual and Trunks gets healed so that he is full power once again. He receives a massive Zenkai since he got beat up by such a powerful Granola. "You're much stronger now, exactly what we need to face him," Goku says, as Gas then reveals himself with his new powerful physique. "Fighting alongside a man we were fighting minutes ago, what a surprise," Vegeta says. The 4 ultra powerful warriors stand together facing Gas. "Don't think you all have been forgiven, we simply have a common enemy," Granola says. He then walks up to the trio, tightening oatmeal around his head. Goku and Vegeta enter Mastered Ultra Instinct once again, and then Trunks enters his newly acquired Ultra Ego state. Now he is a few percent the strength of Goku and Vegeta. Granola takes aim and tries to shoot him, but Gas hurls down a pitchfork that stabs into his body. Goku and Vegeta charge toward him together and attack him from both angles. Goku slams into his back and forces him forward so that he can get hit by Vegeta's incoming attack. However, he forms a shield to block the attack, then turns to swing at Goku. His Ultra Instinct allows him to swivel right over the attack and he strikes Gas in his head with a kick, but he tanks the attack. Granola takes aim and fires a shot at Gas, but he swivels past the attack and forms a massive train to chuck down to Granola. He leaps back and evades it. Trunks, watching this happen, charges in himself to try and attack Gas. He swings multiple times and desperately tries to land an attack of his own, but Gas is just way too fast. After his left arm swings past Gas' body, he lands a knee to Trunks' stomach, then a punch to his face. Before he can even regather his senses slightly, Gas drives forward both his knees and they crash into his chest. Trunks coughs blood and he is knocked back, but he doesn't seem that affected. His power reaches new levels once again and then he starts to heal his own body. "As you continue to beat me down, I'll get stronger and stronger and I can just heal my injuries," Trunks declares, making Gas concerned. "What do you mean by that?" he asks. "It means I am now limitless," Trunks exclaims, before chasing back into battle. His fight with Gas continues, but there is little that he can do to win. Even with his growing strength, the gap between him and Gas is just too much to allow him to win. Gas forms gauntlets over his arms and throws a bunch of punches toward Trunks' face. With his last punch, he aims in Trunks' gut and he coughs out even more blood. Goku charges in from beside him and aims to try and attack Gas, but before he can even land an attack, he is swatted away by heavy weights being attached to his body. Trunks places his palms on his body and feels his body getting stronger as he is getting Zenkai boosts, but he's also getting stronger with his Ultra Ego form. "Come on," Trunks shouts before beginning his power up. His purple flames coat his body, then he tries to face Gas again, but now he really lets him have it. Trunks gets beat up so bad that he is nearly dead, and even Goku tries to stop him from getting hurt too much more. "Oh, wait," Trunks says, with his arms flopped down to his side. With these injuries, he starts to get a more brazen look on his face and he grows stronger and stronger. He shouts and his hair flows under his powerful aura. Everyone can feel his increasing strength and Goku almost can't believe it. "Wow, he's getting closer to our strength. He's still far too weak, but his power still climbs as if there's no limit," Goku thinks to himself. However, while Trunks is trying to power up and make himself stronger, he just falls out of Ultra Ego and totally exerts himself. He falls from the sky and Minato rushes to attend to his injuries. Next, Vegeta rips himself out of the weights attached to his body, then Goku teleports so that he stands beside Vegeta. After this, Gas reveals his inner nature as a heater and stands over the crew. "You all stand no chance against I," Gas claims, flying over the 3. "Me and Vegeta will attack him from close up. Granola, try and hit him with your eyesight like before," Vegeta explains. As he says this, Granola awakens his second eye and looks at his target with newfound precision. "Alright, with this eye I can see all," Granola states, lifting up his hand to aim at the target. However, before they can even begin the fight, Gas teleports and arrives in front of the 2 Ultra Instinct users. He swings and kicks at Vegeta, who dips past his strike. Goku then charges in from beside him and punches him in the face before launching a close-up Kamehameha wave to launch him further away. Somehow, Gas pushes himself off the blast, like Vegeta did in the Saiyan saga, and then forms a massive collection of weapons and hurls them at the Saiyans. This is of no use though, because they teleport past the wave of weapons. Gas wanted them to do this though and shoots 2 pitchforks for the Saiyans. They land in their guts as it's just too fast for them to evade. While his hands are extended after throwing these weapons, Granola takes aim and exhales calmly. He shoots a ki blast and the attack is fast. It almost hits Gas, but he creates a makeshift ki shield to block the attack. Goku and Vegeta cough blood and weakly look up to the enemy they've been facing. "I am the strongest in the universe. Do you not understand?" Gas asks. Granola decides to try and attack him himself. He throws a precise punch aimed for one of his vitals. However, Gas shifts his body just enough so that he misses a vital point and only hits it. Since Gas is stronger than him too, the attack is rather easy for him to take. Granola swings again to try and hit another vital, but Gas strikes him in his chest, almost knocking him out instantly. Goku rips the pitchfork from his gut, then pops a sensu bean, passing another to Vegeta. They both get boosted to their strength and enter Mastered Ultra Instinct once again to enter the battle. Gas just chuckles once he sees them coming and shoots a bunch of ki blasts. Once he does this, Granola appears from out of nowhere and punches a vital in the back of his neck. This strike makes him briefly lose consciousness, but once he snaps back into it, it's too late. Vegeta knees him in his head, forcing him meters back, then Goku flies up as fast as he can. He powers toward his target and extends his right leg before striking him in the side of his head. This kick holds Gas away several meters, and Granola now flies over him with both of his arms aimed at him. He launches an ultra-precise beam of energy that slams into one of Gas's vital areas, and this hurls him into the ground and creates a massive crater. Once the smoke clears, Gas is revealed with a much more decrepit physique. His body is eating away at its own cells to provide him with strength, and so it's making him look like a living corpse. The fighters return to their base forms, and Trunks is healed by Minato. Goku and Vegeta are pretty much healthy since they just took sensu beans, and Gas looks like he's really eliminated, but as they walk back to the Namekian and Trunks, a blast soars toward Trunks. It is very quick and they can barely track the attack, but before it lands, Trunks unleashes a large explosion to cloud their presence. He snatches Minato from the area and Goku appears beside Trunks. He uses instant transmission to then teleport them away so that they are away from the explosion. Gas, now in the air, faces them with his mortifyingly rotten body, but before he can do anything else, he is killed in one go. Someone stabs their arm through his chest, and this person is none other than Frieza. He returns to his final form and he makes his appearance before appearing before the three Saiyans. He enters his Black Frieza form and they all prepare to attack him. He punches Trunks, who is in Ultra Ego, and almost knocks him out. However, Ultra Ego Future Trunks is significantly stronger than Ultra Ego Vegeta in the canon, and so he can stay awake a little longer. Black Frieza then does the split while mid-air to take out both Goku and Vegeta with a drop kick. That felt great, Frieza says, before using slightly more power to knock out Trunks. The rest of the arc goes pretty much the same, and Black Frieza exits after killing Elec and using the rest of the heaters as staff for his empire. So that will conclude the 9th part of What If Goku and Vegeta Were Trapped in the Time Chamber. I'm sorry for the slightly shorter part, but since the plot pretty much ends at this point, there's nothing more that I can really write. I guess this really happens with What Ifs, where the end part ends up having a pretty irregular length. Please tell me something you liked about this video, or something that I should improve on for the next part. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.